match that passion.
You're like saying something to translate. It's like, yeah, he said like, you can do it, guys. I really believe
you got it.
Yeah. This is why I'm not a translator. I don't think I'd have the same oomph what they need to really sort of hype up the youngsters. Because that's the thing. Again, they're coming out on this stage.
Yep.
It's the second time they've been here, this time a best of 3. I think even though they managed to take the map off of C9, C9 are still favorites here in my eyes. Like, they in the majority of gun rounds, look like the better team, and Zeta kind of got slammed yesterday. Also, it's no longer a best of 1. 3 maps will be coming in, and we haven't seen much of Zeta's map pool.
And let's not forget that initial best of 1 that these guys had was a back and forth affair. But now, as you can see, we're getting into map picks and bans, and you can talk us through it, Mitchy baby.
Well, we've seen Haven from Zeta. I'm imagining that they're going to want to play there again, but maybe all the way down in the decider. It was a super close game from them. Lotus looked like there could be some potential there to build on. I'm not sure if they're going to want to lock it in. And it's
lost
going for
11 rounds in a row. I don't know if they want to go anywhere near that.
Yeah, but you learn the most from those kind of defeats.
I think Ascent for C9 makes a lot of sense. They've played it a couple of times with Curry, or once with Curry and once with Whippy. They won 13-2 both times. They've looked really strong on that map. Bind coming in as a pick for Zeta. It's only been played once for C9, but they're going to take, I don't mind that. They won off pistol round, like, ridiculousness. They didn't win off those gun rounds. If they lose a pistol in that map, they've lost the game. So I don't mind them taking it to Lotus. They probably learned a lot as well from the defeat to Fnatic yesterday, but they need to fix a lot of different things if they're going to be able to take this one over the line.
100%. When we saw Haven yesterday, it wasn't just the pistol rounds, it was the thrifty rounds as well. We saw so many Sheriff plays that got them across the line, and it's such a tight series. Map, even as it was, you can't rely on repeating that this time around. So I do think Lotus is the right call for them, considering, like I say, that's where you learn the most from those kind of dominant defeats. Rush B, the strats are getting pulled out.
The strats.
I'm not buying it.
He's holding that up and then whispering down the mic, go away.
We did actually say about Zeta yesterday that they did, despite their youth and inexperience, they did show levels of maturity at times.
Yes.
But there is a different level of maturity when you need to show that stamina in a best of 3 situation, Tom.
Oh, for sure. Like as said, like they managed to like have some pretty decent flanks and calm within the storm in clutch rounds. But ultimately, when it comes to full-on executions, I think you have to give that over to C9. And unless you are watching with sheer tinted glasses, which some of us are, but it would definitely look like they were winning a lot of rounds that they shouldn't win. So to recreate that is going to be difficult. I also think going into an attack side Ascent to start is very, very difficult. It's a map where things can go wrong very, very quickly. And because it's a map we've seen for so long, the agents, as you can see, are always pretty much the same. You run out of ideas very quickly.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see more of Uran as well. I feel like his patience yesterday was on display. Some of the flank plays were off the charts. He never really got caught out looking for aggressive stances. And whenever he went for them, there was success to be found. So I feel like he's a player who's a super good read on the game. Whether that's down to the IGL of Zeta or him himself, the discipline was off the charts across this lineup. And when we saw them win that map on Haven, it was individual performances, not from one, not from two, but from every single player. We need to see more of that today if they're going to have a chance of taking it in a BO3.
Yeah, I mean, we've been hyping up how much Zeta are having the time of their lives here in front of their home fans, but it's not just these guys. CLOUD9 loving it too. I saw Vanity on Twitter just sharing photos with fans saying he can't put into words how incredible the atmosphere is here. So this team are of course going to want to keep the dream alive too. But now our first quarter-final of Red Bull Homeground 2023 is here. It's C9 versus Zeta. Let's get into map 1 with Tom and Mitch.
I've already got a bit of combat down on mid. Kata going to be the first to fall, but the A site is under threat. You know, that rush B strategy might have been a bit of a fake. Sold out to the crowd. Zeppa trying to catch a couple players, crossing over on the door. He'll get absolutely nothing. As Zeta try to get the plant down and succeed, but they've lost a lot of players. Zeppa on the double with the doors wide open. This round looks like might just be a closed case. Laz very low after that headshot as well. That is a very clean start to C9's map pick.
Yeah, their defensive sides yesterday were clinical. They had executions to take them through B main. They also then had that sort of passive hold when they were up against Fennel. Like they were nasty on this map. And in particular, he may be 0-1 right now, but Oxy had, in my opinion, the best performance of the tournament so far. And that's when you're considering the likes of Yedajay absolutely carrying in some of the matches. But he was unstoppable. Like, there was nothing that Fennel could do. Now, do I put Zeta on a higher level than Fennel? Yes, I do. But shutting him down is going to be a different story. I am happy, though, to see they put Kayada back in the roster, because I think that even though he definitely had some slower starts, he has some high-impact explosive rounds. If anybody's going to go toe-to-toe with Oxy, I think it's going to be him.
Not too much of an investment from the side of Zeta coming into this round. Just a couple of credits spent to give some upgraded pistols. That's where they did a lot of the damage last time up against CLOUD9. Of course, that was on Haven. See what they can do this time around. Already losing out on Kaida. Nice nade, shock dart as well. No way out for Vanity, but Curry, a very impressive stand-in for this squad. Yesterday, he was on fire, and here he's quick to grab the trade, keeping the numbers in C9's favor.
So a lot of comments about Curry entering the Radiant lobbies and having mass success. Like, he definitely did well on an individual level. And again, even if you look at the game they lost, I don't think any critique can really be placed onto him. He had a great game. For now, though, they're going to be running into the man you really don't want to face off against. Didn't have much to do in this case, though, as Curry's going to clean it up with 3, and C9 start with that 2-0 lead.
Very good start for this squad. Minimal losses. Economy's going to start to build up. On the side of Zeta, this is where the crowd will hope to see them take it across the line. The full investment, the rifles, and already some good ideas on display. Good adaptations to some of the positions that were in play. And Kira Ron, a little overzealous on the wide swing, but these things happen. If you have one extra smoke there down in spawn, which you would on a full buy round, it's a different game altogether. This is where Zeta won't be pulling any punches. And C9, you know, they still have some weaknesses, but 2 Guardians alongside a Vandal, it's fair to say they can take some pretty favorable fights, or at least fights on equal footing.
Thrown over the top. Definitely going to see Oxy, and an escape plan needs to be made. It almost seems like they might look to pressure through, push up through mid, but Kayada's managed to do some damage, has to try and escape out of there.
Nice.
And in fact, he's going to get the kill through the smoke as well, leaving them with a huge advantage already in this one. Vanity, bear in mind, only as a judge.
Oh, he's low. He's, oh no!
Okay, lads.
Never mind. The wall bang out of last to save the day. Hey, you could have all 5 players coming out of this round alive for Zeta, and in fact, it's looking likely. Curry just going to play the exits. When he heard from one of the interviews, I can't remember if it was C9 or one of the other teams. It actually might have been one of the Japanese teams. They asked, what's the best thing to do in a 1v5? And they said, get exits. And typically that is the correct answer. There's not a whole lot you're going to be able to do, and especially with that rifle in hand and credits spent to make that happen, I would say Curry needs to, definitely wants to survive this round. If he has to go to a judge or something, it's not the end of the world, but
yeah. Also, in terms of orbs, I don't think Oxy's even remotely close to a Blade Storm, so it's not like there's going to be anything extra that can.
Because Curry's been finding
gap.
a lot of the kills in that B play, yeah.
So it's not going to be much of an opportunity. I like the fact that Urin as well is almost always the closest to getting his ultimate online. So real potential for something for Zeta. The thing is, though, you look at this round, and again, it's one where you've seen Zeta basically win off reactiveness. Now, the C9 are going to do that a lot, like look to put the pressure on. I think that's something that Fennel really struggled with, was adapting on the fly. The fact that they were able to sort of stabilize quite well here, especially within the chaos, is a good start. But you also have to consider the weapons that were online. Like, it was you got an SMG facing off against a rifle at range. You don't really expect that player to win.
No, of course not. This is somewhere that C9 can be a little bit more confident, and they've invested light shields across the board, allowing these rifles full utility to come into play. Vanity, the typical Odin play inside of B main, but Zeta, they know how he likes to play. They're not going near it at the start of the round. Instead, looking for control over mid, taking some of those longer range fights where they've had a lot of success in the previous series, and you can see over on A, already a sneaky spot from Jake, down inside Wine. He could have a big role to play in denying this push. In fact, he's been spotted, and now probably wants to get out of there. He's staying to try and take a fight. Bit of a team flash going through it. I think C9 maybe lost in the sauce a small bit for just a moment, but luckily the pressure isn't really being applied by Zeta. They're waiting for Laz to complete that lurk, and he's done just that, dropping Curry and leaving the B site very exposed. Only one man to defend it, but that man is Oxy.
Yeah. He's probably the one man that, if yesterday has anything to go on, you really don't want to be facing off against. Laz, though, is just catching players left, right, and center. Trade will be there. Leaves things in a 3v3, and a good position from Heroron is going to catch another. Now they have to be wary. Never mind. The push from behind. Sugar Zero has found another, and now Oxy is the only player remaining, and they know roughly where he is.
Yeah, they've got that info from earlier on, even
definitely know now.
Crossing over towards A. The spike's made it. He won't be able to intercept. And now this becomes very difficult. He probably needs to break that door just to cause some questions to be asked on that side. I didn't quite expect him to go blitzing through after.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, no, it was probably the right play. Try to isolate the planter. If that second player isn't in position to trade, he could have the round, or at least a much better shot at it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the initial steps being wrapping through tree, you almost expect that the other player might still be on heaven.
Absolutely.
And actually can't trade that. So, yeah, really don't mind the attempt. Obviously, 1v3, you can't really expect too much. But 2-2. Good signs from Zeta, because I do think that, again, after yesterday's performance where they won with winning both pistols and getting off to flying starts in both halves, winning 4 spires, I was still a little bit hesitant in how they're going to do if they don't win both the pistols. But the fact is their response here was fantastic. And actually, it seems like C9 have gone for a very early tactical pause. And especially, you only get yourselves a couple throughout. The fact that it's happened and we're only going into round 5 and they've only lost a couple of rounds, it shows that clearly there's some warning signs already there for Imi.
Absolutely, yeah, this isn't going to be a clean and easy game for C9, despite the fact that obviously they made quick work of Fennel on this very same map yesterday. Yeah. Zeta are a different beast.
They played this map twice since this roster's been formed. They won it 13-2, 13-2. So unless they're about to win 11 rounds in a row, I think this is already going to be a tougher opponent than they've faced so far. And that's the thing. Historically for Zeta, this was always a pretty decent map for them. They were happy to play it. So again, it's very difficult to say with rosters changing. Sure. Like it's a completely different outlook. But that's the thing. I think when you, especially with them having 3 young players, 1 in Hero Run coming over from their opponents of Fennel, and then 2 youth players and a 3rd also being as a potential swap-in. That's something that could happen throughout this series. We've already seen that once. Yatsuka, who came in and played the Raze in that other matchup, I will say it didn't go quite as well, so maybe in this sort of position where you could actually be eliminated, you're not going to do that, but we'll see, because he's definitely here. I saw him walking, well, I actually saw him running around. He was running around with all this stuff in the box.
Oh, okay. Maybe a quick warm-up. It's one way to do it. The A side has 2 players on it. One is Oxy hiding up top. Good shock dart. Denial of the drone for Uran. Very little information as they make their way through, but the dash will close into space. And Kaida straight up there for the fight. It's Oxy and Vanity down. A huge opening for the side of Zeta, and it looks like a quick closing as well. You want to be careful when Curry's still alive. This guy was a beast for picking up 4Ks, and he's on track to do it again. The first found, but still a sheriff in hand. Wall banks, not quite landing. Good opportunity, but it's a tough one. And his backup weapon here, or his primary, I suppose, in some way, is a stinger. Might give him an opportunity if they get close, but as you can see, Zeta have absolutely no intention of doing that. They're going to run the clock down on this guy.
I feel like Kaida's given me like Foxy 9 vibes, like when he plays the Jet. It's like all in aggression. Like I'm dashing into the site, I'm probably going to hit my first shot, but then if I survive past that, I'm still pushing. Like there's nothing you can stop me in terms of just how aggressive I'm going to be. And that's the thing. That is, a lot of the time, it's either amazing or awful. Like it's a 50-50 on how things are going to go. So I'll be interested to see if he's going to get shut down at all this map and then go a little bit quiet. But in terms of Ascent, that's exactly what you need. You need, I feel like to be a great Ascent team, you need someone who's a bit of a lunatic. Someone who's not afraid of their stats being bad. Someone who's not worried about the criticism and will keep dashing into that site again and again and again, because otherwise you have no entry in this map.
That's what a good player is, man. Like, we've seen it from the dawn of time, the dawn of Valorant time, at least, that players, when you sit back and you worry a lot about all of this, the stats, the numbers, it doesn't stand to you. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. But when you're able to sit back and focus a little bit on getting your team forward, taking space, some of the more abstract concepts that don't show up on the scoreboard, that's really where the results are found. Zeta have the lead, 1 round, with C9 buying back up and putting most of their credits on the line. 3 players down to just scraps and drabs. This is somewhere that Zeta could capitalize and launch themselves into the lead with a significant margin. You can see how much weight they're putting on this round by the slow approach, a very different approach from what we've seen in the previous rounds. It is a full default, even with 50 seconds left on the clock. Very little movement from the extremities here, just waiting for C9 to get overzealous.
The thing is, though, this is the switch up that C9 showed in their last match of Ascent. they are happy to just sit and wait. They've taken control in A main as well, but it's something that is clearly prepped for. And now the push looks to go back in on towards that B side, both going into the back of site. 30 seconds to try and clear them out, and the rest of the players are hightailing their way to try and get into position. You got that Hunter's Fury that needs to do something here, and while Kaeda's managed to get that entry, Vanity is still here. Time ticking low. They've got to try and clear him. The spike dropped to the ground. He might be able to save them here, but he falls. Even still, though, they've got to try and retrieve that spike. And Oxy is looking to try and pressure, but he will get nothing done. It comes close on the clock. But Zeta, well, they survive with 4.
Well, a little taste of their own medicine with the Odin retrieved from Uran to close that out. Good damage by Vanity, but ultimately not enough. Oh, wow. That's a beautiful cosplay. I gotta say, the level of detail here is blowing my mind. I know we had the Neon and the Yoru walking out with most of our teams, and I caught a glimpse of them on the first day when we were here. It was unreal. Even like they have LEDs in it and everything. It's just something to aspire to.
Keep up.
When are we gonna get you pulling the cosplay, Tom? Who would you go for? Which agent? Can you make a nice brim?
I wouldn't mind going for a
Get the muscles out.
Stimby Khan.
You wouldn't be able to beat Megs, but maybe you can eclipse it. Get
I need a lot of stuffing. Let's put it that way.
You would. Well,
I think I could beat Marcus's Reina, though.
you wouldn't beat his Gecko. He's pulling off the Slim Shady. Oh, it looks like Zeta trying to compete for mid control a little bit. C9 in the same boat. 2 weapons bought up, a Vandal alongside a Guardian. Obviously, Oxy's confident to play this one with all his credits on the line because he's 1 orb away from a Blade Storm, a free weapon for the next round, and in his hands, an even more deadly one than any money can buy. We'll see what Zeta have planned because for now, they're very spread out, and it looks like possibly a B fake, but the spike is rotating to B. Oh, okay. Nice trade from Uran. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, this man looks like he's got some experience with the Odin. That's not something you just pull off on the fly, but Curry's at least done some damage. You have to bear in mind he is still one of the pistol players. Probably would have not liked to get out of that one clean. You got to be careful though, because you spam any bullets through, and it's going to be right back at you tenfold. Again, though, look at the clock. 25 seconds left as they look to entry into this site. Zeta really running that clock down, and there's a few things that could go wrong here. One of them is lurking within that smoke behind them. However, again, just so clean on those entries.
Sugar Zero was so quick to take that pick that you saw Kaida turn around and go, oh, he's behind me? Ah, where is he? Oh, he's already dead? Oh, thanks, man. The guy, you know, that's what you want from a teammate. He's got your back no matter what. Now, look, Oxy, I still think he's going to dive at this one. Saving the Guardian would be all right, but he's 1 orb away. Might as well try. And that try did not go too well. Very quickly, a conclusion is written. With 3 more players to pick up, we didn't really think that Jake had a chance, and well, we're correct. 5 rounds on the board for Zeta. What a phenomenal start to their attack side on Ascent, and C9 have got to be sweating. Now, the thing is, here they've got the credits, they'll invest, but even then, there are going to be some weaknesses. This has been a very tough start for the North American side.
They've got so many ults, though, that you have to put the expectation on them to win the round. Like, yeah, even you look at what's on the other side, okay, they got a lockdown, you can counter that immediately. So everything else, I can't really see too much for Zeta in this, but they have been so clean. And the thing is, for such a young team, I'm really impressed with their ability not to panic when that clock gets down to like 10, 15 seconds. Normally, that's where you see things go catastrophically wrong for rosters, especially when they don't have experience on a stage like this. So really impressive stuff. And as said, C9, they played this map a couple of times with this roster, or the one with Whippy, and both times they've dominated. They've never had to sort of turn the tide in any of these games, so it's a very different outlook for them. Attempting again some aggression. The Hunter's Fury could do a lot of damage. Kaeda already gone. There won't be a second connection. Actually, Oxy still lurking within mid. Do they expect him to be here? No, they do not.
Now with the Hunter's Fury used on A, maybe expecting more of a rotate, more of a deeper hold around mid, but yeah, Oxy playing a confident game. Oh, the laundry got in the way for a second. He was able to clean it up nicely. Uran dodges the flash for 2 players on the other side. It's tough, damage done. But finishing him off might be tough, never mind. He even gets the reset onto the duel for Zeppa. Luckily, though, it doesn't go his way. With Uran falling, it's Hero Ron, the hero of the round. If he pulls this off, a 1 versus 4, a Curry performance, it would have to be.
30 seconds left.
It starts with Vanity. That wallbang's already coming through, and they'll take him down in
I love
plain
it.
view.
If you get Hero Run's player cam there, he's just laughing. The second he does, he's just laughing to himself. I do think he's in competition for the smiliest player in the world. Like,
he really is, man.
I haven't
Win or lose.
seen him. Yeah, he's just having a great time on the stage.
How couldn't you be, though? Being in this arena already probably means so much, and then seeing the crowd here cheering you on, it's a whole different ball game. And the idea to use the Hunter's Fury off rip from C9 after spotting players outside of A was interesting. I guess because they have their own lockdown, they're comfortable enough that if Laz uses his, they can counter it, retake the space. But obviously, it's one of the key counters that you're going to use to deter Laz from ever doing that.
Well, it seems like it's going to be Zeta now calling a pause. Now, after losing the pistol, that's the first round they've actually lost, other than the conversion. So 5 in a row. Haven't really had to adapt massively to anything that C9 have been doing, and that one was ultimately one off a couple of strong ults from C9 in the early stages of the round. So it seems maybe a little bit over the top, but I guess they just want to make sure that this is going to be that strong attack in half, knowing that, again, like you go into a map like Bind, which even still for both these teams is going to be a relative unknown. You don't know if it's going to end up being one of your stronger maps because you haven't played in officials. You only know what's been happening in scrims, and honestly, with how new this Zeta roster is, we don't even know how many scrims they've played. We kind of just find out, especially with, I feel like more of the Pacific teams, that we find out a little bit later. Like with EMEA, there's a lot of leaks like, okay, this team's been together for a month, we know that that's coming. But with Pacific, like I saw rumors for some of the Zeta players, but the Academy players, I had no idea they were coming in. So maybe they've been practicing for a few weeks, maybe they've been practicing for a few days. So their map pool definitely shouldn't be as deep as someone like C9 who've already been playing tournaments, but they're looking good on Ascent.
I can only imagine the panic that went through Zeta's coach there as he got the final 5 count. Hero Ron bought up a second attack side Odin. And I imagine he was like, turn the mic back on! Turn it back on! I just have one more thing to say. Nice little lineup from Vanity. Much more shallow now, realizing that Zeta have been buying this Odin, or using it, this time buying it, some previous rounds using it just to try and deny that wall bang. Now he's got a safe angle where he can't be fired back on all too easily. Very good kill from Vanity. And an opportunity to further deny with the counter lockdowns. There's going to be no space taken on the back of Laz's ultimate.
Yeah. We are going to see, I think it was Curry just detained at the back of the site, but it doesn't matter. They couldn't really push onto him to deal with anything. And again, that opening now going the way of C9, there has to be a response attempted. But the initial plan for Zeta is out the window. They've had to fall back completely.
You know, I think a lot of that might have been down to seeing the damage done to Vanity in a lot of the rounds, whether it was with a Sheriff, whether it was with the counter Odin spam as well, of just buying the Odin, trying to bait him into spam early, and then destroying him. But that hasn't worked out, and now they've got an attack side Odin that they can't really take through B main after giving up that space. And they can't take it through A either, with Sugar 0 down. Smokes go by the wayside. This becomes a very difficult round for Zeta to recover.
Yeah, right down to the wire as well in terms of time. They're just going to have to try and make the move now. Oxy is low. He's already gone. Paranoia. It's solid, but Laz still wins the fight. Completely blinded, nearsighted. And now Zeppa is the only one remaining. The flash again has caught 2 players, but they've traded evenly.
10 seconds left.
The fact is they're fighting blind and still managing to even the scales. Curry and Vanity now rotating back from the B site. Knife is going to catch onto Curry, but still util being used by Vanity. Surviving close and Laz still standing. It is going to be Hero Run spotted left, all onto the leader. The face of this squad to try and take it back. He spotted both, and Vanity now down to incredibly low HP. He even has the Nano Swarm, which is going to take him out. Laz with the Red Bull clutch to get them their 6th round.
Unbelievable stuff from Laz. I mean, he's so smart as well, getting into that corner, the one spot Vanity couldn't see him from. He's spraying away with that Odin, trying to get the wall bags. His teammate comes in, gets a fantastic kill, tries to put utility down to help them out, grab a little bit more information, and then Laz swings. Pixel perfect timing, even dodging the shock dart and just getting the nano in on time. Such a beautiful round, and for Zeta, they are not just here surviving, they're thriving. 6 rounds on the attack. C9's map pick, and one that so far with this roster, they've looked unbelievable with. Again, looking at this tournament just yesterday, the 13-2 over Zeta's countrymen of Fennel. A revenge matchup, perhaps, as they...
A very different setup.
Back the win. Oxy's going into the smoke. He wants to.
Curry close.
Oh!
But he actually just fades off of it. The crowd definitely starting to wake up a bit as well. I think that last clutch is the loudest by far of anything that's happened so far in this arena. Maybe a fan favorite. Not sure, you know.
They like him a little bit. They like him. You like him too, Tom. Last fan account.
Yep.
We see you.
Yep.
Not surprised after what we just saw.
If you're not a fan of Lies, you're the problem.
I'm kind of becoming a Uran fan, I'll be honest. After the series yesterday we cast, now looking at him here, who's playing Ascent, you know, I feel like we'd have some good conversations about the game. I'd love to sit down with him and Vanity. And Boaster, the attack side Omen operator. That guy's insane. Boaster's broken the code.
Here we go. Straight in towards the site again in the late round. TP cancelled. Vanity looking to try and find an angle to spam, but has to be careful. He's not going to give too much away. Again, leaving it to the last second. He still takes Kayada down.
Spike planted.
The rotation coming back in. This is an adventurous TP, and almost works out, but Oxy is so prepared.
This is late flank as well, though. A second flank thrown out into things with Uran. We talked about how consistent he'd been at getting behind them, but Oxy lands another great shot with the off. Great correction from Laz for his third kill of the round.
Even he's surprised. The look on his face as he manages to spin on a dime.
And the key thing, he got behind the box as well. Oxy just swung him with the op, and I think he might have seen the edge of his barrel, but he couldn't get the shot off. Look at the timing. And as Oxy swings to kill him, that's when Hero Ron takes the kill from the side. That was, I mean, you couldn't choreograph that any better.
They're having a great time, having a ball. And that's the thing, we've known this from Laz. When Laz is in form, you're in danger. We saw it in the past where when he used to go into chamber, that was just terrifying. And now on that Killjoy as well, 12-5, it has been a very different look to CLOUD9 from what we saw yesterday versus Fennel. A tougher opponent for sure, and a nice shot from Curry again. His Sheriff has always seemingly been good for one. Vanity's going to manage to collect the orb as well, but this buy doesn't have a lot of legs behind it, and Sugar Zero, patient, is already going to spot the push. He does actually have some support, though, and actually, well, a bit of utility wasted, as they will fall back.
Take flight.
Yeah, that paranoia to try and gain space as Uran went up short. If those players were deafened and blinded, he could definitely claim that space for free. Instead, he's forced back and doesn't really want to compete, pushing into the... What? That was a headshot! Straight down on mid. 5 HP left on Laz. Huge. And a round like this for C9, this is all they could possibly wish for, to chip away at the numbers of Zeta, deal damage over time, and, well, they'll hope it ends in a successful crunch. 2 players spotted on A. They know exactly what's going on. Hunter's Fury used to claim space. Clear angles. Up close, though. Jake timing it through the smoke, and he's caught Hero Ron. But the shot didn't land. It's left Zeta with an advantage with the sight. With the spike planted and C9 having to make their way back through. No command used, no utility to help them on their way. This is a perilous journey and one that has an almost certainly written conclusion. No adjustments to be made. It is Zeta steaming ahead. 8 rounds on the board to match C9's 3. This is going to be a huge task for C9 to recover with 1 round left on the defense, and then their attack. It better be good. I'll say that.
It has to be good. I don't know. I'm not feeling massively confident. And that's the thing that's actually really interesting is a lot of the time, if you pick Ascent, your opponents pick defense. Now you have to bear in mind that probably means Zeta picked attack, which I don't know if they expected it to be this good. They've lost a single Byron. And again, just premise that from when they played yesterday, Zeta were not good in their buy rounds. Comparatively to C9 on Haven, they were definitely the worst of the two in terms of buy rounds. In this game, they have been unbelievable. Now they've got Hero on. He's bought up an operator and a rifle just to try and maybe fight some of those early battles. For now, though, again, back to this sort of patient default. Laz has been a menace on the lurks. And Oxy, for the most part, has been somewhat shut down this game.
I think someone just looked at Vanity's credits and realized, oh, we can go B main this round. Perfect. They've taken some space, denied some information, kept players on B, but it's the double mid play from C9. Not just with 2 players on mid, but 2 players on short as well. Dual angles to take those duels. And Unfortunately, they will be denied the smokes that are going down, the gradual space taken. And although Zeta are not capitalizing on those smokes, they're not filling in the space, they're robbing it from C9. Someone needs to fill in those gaps, and it's Jake and Zeppa, the duo on short that tried to have a little bit of a crunch, a surprise play, but Zeta cannot be caught on the back foot.
30 seconds left.
There's nothing but success to be found for this attacking side. A potential 9-3 half, even failing to punish Laz,
no.
and he adjusts. He will not fall this time with another kill, spinning around for more. The ghost even comes out. He's got time. Use the ult.
Hey, yo,
He can reload.
come on then.
It's okay.
Come
You
get
can
me.
oh no, he's being shock darted by a teammate. What is going on here? But either way, Zeta, despite all the tomfoolery in the end, they have come out with all 5 players. Not only a beautiful half, but a beautiful conclusion to it as well, flawlessly closing out.
You've got to kill him while you got the chance. Like, you got to
Yeah.
kill. Like,
Oh, yeah.
If you miss a beat, Laz is going to punish you. But this has been an all-round fantastic team performance. Not a piece missing. The 3 youngsters, as I said, 2 academy players, 1 coming over from Fennel, all holding their own versus vastly experienced players in America.
Oh,
like,
yes.
But like Vanity, Zeppa especially, household names. Like, we have known
100%.
them for a long, long time.
Highly, highly rated. Curry is a stand-in as well, playing nuts.
It really is impressive. And this has got to be so difficult for C9 because you've come into your map choice. As I said, a map that for them so far, obviously it's a very short amount of time, just playing it a couple, but they have slaughtered teams, and now they're on the other side. They're getting battered by Zeta. Zeta with the home crowd at their back. And don't get me wrong, yeah, you probably can't hear what the fans are saying. You can't hear if they like say something specific.
Yeah.
But when Laz won that clutch, they felt that.
Those desks
you
were
felt
shaking.
that's like well, when you're next to a speaker and you just hear it vibrating through your heart. That's how loud that was. I could hear it from up here. So I can't imagine down in the center of the stage.
Yep.
That must have
The
felt
sound's hitting you from
mass
all
pressure
sides.
because that's a round, again, that you cannot lose. And for some of the players, it's been shaky. Like, I have to say, like, there's been a few moments for Jake especially where I'm like, that's a duel you need to win. That's a duel that you have to win. So I do wonder if some of the players, maybe some of the less experienced ones, are feeling a little bit of pressure here up against that home crowd. And when this is your map choice and you've managed 3 rounds on the defense of Ascent,
Yeah.
not feeling good, not feeling good. I think, like, yesterday, their defense was a 10-2 half. Didn't even really have to see the attack.
Maybe the attack's even better. Maybe it would have been a 12-0 half.
Maybe.
For C9's
I
sake-
appreciate your optimism.
For C9's sake, I certainly hope so. Looks like they're going to take a leaf out of Zeta's book, even doubling down on it.
They already took him out.
Poor Leaf. I was always a Leaf fan. Well, instead of sending a lurk through mid, it's just going to be all 5 on a full frontal aggression from C9 as they're going to take control over the site and grab a plant for free. But Zeta quickly rotating. They've obviously taken mid control. They're reinforcing short, leaving a drone up through heaven to make sure that space is not taken on the other side. It's all about that flank.
Park the drone.
Spotted. So they know there's 2 players coming behind. They know at least 1 thanks to the turret being destroyed. And that's why Zeta reposition and now focus up on short with 3 players there, 2 in heaven. This is just going to be a standard retake.
3 underneath from C9. I don't know if this will necessarily be expected. A couple of them have been spotted, and well, for Gaida, this is going pretty well. He's now the last man standing. Both players, he knows where they are, but he's not going to be landing the shots. And Jake having that step up. As said, it's been a quiet game for him so far, but a couple of kills in the pistol won't go amiss.
A much needed pistol round win. And you know, this is, we talk a lot about, well, if you win both pistols, Tom, but if you only win both pistols.
Hey, they got round 8.
Oh, sorry. You win both pistols, follow-ups in round 8.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, C9 could never lose this.
Hey, look. You don't want to get the facts wrong. You might end up looking like a fool. Isn't that right, Ian? It's always nice when he
We
can't
like
respond.
throwing Ian under the bus. Yeah. This game is...
It's all right. All he'll say is something about pajamas again, so, you know, he hasn't got anything else.
Hey, you went shopping, though, yesterday. No, I've seen the shirt before.
No, I've seen
I
the shirt
think
many
I've
times.
seen this one before.
Well, not going to be much in this round. In fact, very, very little. A single frenzy is all they've really got. Obviously, some utility behind it, and the B push. Well, it's going to give them the information that it's not B. Good luck, Hero Ron.
Probably not what they wanted though here. They wanted to run into some B players. Instead, it's going to be a retake with pistols. For Zeta, that's not ideal. Moving back into the A site, there's plenty of angles where you can catch players off guard, don't get me wrong, but they have really got themselves entrenched and full information. You know, there's no way you're catching them off guard with a flank. They know about this, and it's Curry watching it. A very tough duel to win under any circumstances, really, but add to that, classics and just a frenzy. It's just that one upgraded pistol. This becomes a near impossible task. They've done well to find one. Leave Curry on 43. Capitalizing on this kill would be fantastic. For Hero Ron, a very tough challenge, and there it is. The final bullet laid well in Hero Ron's chest. C9 push up to 5. They've won both pistols and both follow-ups in the anti-ecos. Short of that, they've only found one other round. So yeah, quite a big task ahead of them.
I like the fact they've gone a little bit heavier into some of the rifles. Like when you're down a few rounds, you want to make sure that these bonus rounds are at least a little bit closer. So having those Guardians, having an extra rifle in there, even maybe going for a Bulldog or something alongside it, it's going to make this one dangerous for Zeta. Now, last time out, there were a couple of these guns as well, and Zeta swept the floor with them, but we'll have to see how they're going to cope in this one. At least for now, they're fairly confident that it's going to be B.
That looks like they've made the right read on that one.
Oh, no, go back to the shock dart.
Revealing area. There they are.
Big reveal.
Oh, my God.
Now the shock darts start to come through. Now the damage can come into play.
Oh, no.
Kinda hasn't been spotted, and he's got a shrouded step right in front of him. Easy pickings for Laz. Even a nano swarm kill to be found. Zeppa, voted by the team to be most likely to win a clutch. Now in a 1v2, his chance to prove that his teammates didn't misplace that fate. 6 bullets left in the magazine. He's got to pop a reload on that, surely. He can't do this with just 6. And now he's all out. All out of bullets, all out of look. As Zeta make double digits a reality, also doubling the scoreline of C9. 10-5. Gargantuan task for this attacking side to come back. At least they do get to fall back on their economy and get a full buy up here, but that was a massive oversight. Assuming that there was just that one player towards the site. Kaida was patient, tucked in the corner, and that patience was paid off.
A really good early read coming out from Zeta. Kaida's got himself a judge. Now, I don't know if this is going to be him battling for an orb. Try and get himself something to play with. In this early round, they have gone back to a higher stack towards that A side. Maybe the expectation that they're not going to try and go in this direction once again. And Kaida's position now is filth. Like, clearing this angle when there is a player holding it with a judge is going to be very difficult indeed. Oh. Buran even pulling out Mitch's real favorite gun. He doesn't want to admit it.
Not accurate. I like the skin. I'll give him that. You know, he's done well for himself there. But outside of that, you know, why would you even buy an Ares skin? You should never intend to use it. There's a player up close. He's going to take down the turret at least. Hey, look, it's good utility denial. 300 credits to do that. It's not too bad. Let's see what he can do, though. With a player up close, Curry, 90 HP, 5 shields.
Yeah, the bigger problem is that if they do split through mid, I do think that Ares is now then going to just be hot trash. Like, it's going to be so difficult for him to win those battles. Luckily, his support is this man, who's been kind of good.
Been all right, yeah. No utility to play with. He's gotten a few nano swarm kills so far, and nothing to be found this time around. Good luck to you. Oh, no! Kaida somehow survived that. He's staying alive inside the smoke, but there it fades, and Jake is already behind him, having used the paranoia and the shrouded step to bypass that secure defense that he had up and running. Sugar Zero's caught off as well. The numbers thinned out now for Zeta, and with Hero Run on 5 HP, Tom, it is not looking good. Iran has to go huge. He will find the first, but still 3 more to go. Plenty of time.
This is one of those positions where both your players are low. You don't really have the money to go back on either, so you're just leaving yourself with basically nothing to play with if you lose this round, and you are probably going to lose this round. Vanity able to clean things up without too many problems, and I have to say, like I said, first half, Jake had a rough time, but he's had a couple of high-impact rounds already when it comes to their attack.
Obviously, from our perspective, we could also see that Zeta wouldn't really have a chance to save those weapons for free. If you glance at the mini-map here, you'll notice that Curry was over on B, late lurking, and he crept up through mid. So had they have went to spawn to run B and save those weapons, they probably would have been picked off by Curry with the surprise angle, especially in the 3v2. They went forward instead, gave themselves a chance to lay their lives down for a round win. Unfortunately, that hasn't come through. Laz 17-9 at the moment. One of the main players for the side of Zeta in this map at least. Four rounds between them. C9 starting to recover.
Well, not much to play with in this round for Zeta, but we've seen them do it with the Sheriffs before. Expectations on CLOUD9 to close that distance a little bit more. All being taken might give them a little bit of extra info. The thing is, though, if they are going to use that null command potentially to just make this so difficult, it doesn't seem like much of a chance, and well, even without it, absolutely nothing found. Great entries in from Zeppa and Oxy, and well, for the rest of the defenders, it should be difficult. Uran, though, so crispy clean. It's just a blip, though, on the radar of C9, as Zeppa will be there to sweep them under the rug in the end.
Big smiles all around. You'd have to after two shots like that. I thought he was going to get a little bit more when they came out of main, but not to be. 7 for C9. Attack side certainly taking shape. They're looking good now that they get to control how this round breeds.
30 seconds left.
With some glimmers of Zeta still posing that threat. Real opportunities to push this all the way now that rifles come into play. Kaida with a Blade Storm in this round as well. Something to keep your eye on as we progress. And Vanity has gone for the attack side Odin, and he might need to use it. They've pushed up on B, pushed up on mid. But the rotations from C9 are instantaneous. They hear all that noise on B, and they say, all right, I guess A is a little bit more open. It's the right call.
One kill, and he gets himself the lockdown, and this round becomes so much more difficult for C9, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to find it. They've still been able to rotate relatively quick. Oh, it's not connected by Kaida, though. Oxy's been able to get that entry, and was that? Oh, it was a fake TP. I thought it just seen Jake TP all the way into the spawn. I was like, that was pretty optimistic. Even still, he's managed to find impact. A 1-for-1 trade. Vanity holding the line. Is Uran just waiting? Waiting to see if he runs out of bullets, especially with how low he is on ammo. This could be problematic for Vanity, and he will fall back into a 2v2 scenario. And remember, Laz's kill does get him his ultimate online. It's looked free for Zeppa, and well, it is in the end.
It's going to take a second for Laz to get back into this. Haven't been detained. Now he's ready to go and take that fight. Player down below hasn't been spotted. Curry has the jump on him, and that might just be enough to close this one out. Curry, of course, going to have to move out of position, but with his nano swarms winning the round, not too much to be done. Very easy close, having assumed both players were in main. That was the wrong read, and we will see the round, we will see the round go to C9. 2 rounds between them, and I'll really say that this attack side is starting to take shape now.
Oh yeah, the fact is that other than their bonus round, they've won absolutely everything. Finances through the roof, ults still somewhat in their favor. This is now starting to look very dangerous for Zeta, and that's the thing. There's one thing losing your opponent's map, it's another being firmly in the lead after a fantastic half and then letting it slip away. Like, that's going to be difficult to take. And as we've mentioned so many times, this is a young squad. Like, they're not the sort of players that can come into this and have that mass experience of mental fortitude to be able to reset. As I said, some of the players on the other side have been competing for many years. It'd be a lot easier to do. It's not like someone like Laz as well, who's been competing in prior games and coming into this. For a lot of them, this will be their first time out on a big esports stage. If you're winning and it slips, that's going to be hard to take.
That's it, man. That's it. You know, and then moving on to the next map, fine, sure, you can think that Zeta have the preference there. It's their map pick. They've obviously got their prep done on it. Who knows how C9 will stack up against what they've got planned, but reality is, yeah, it stinks to have that just swept out from under you when the series was so convincingly going your way. Again, the main thing, the main praise that we had to sing for Zeta up against C9 last time was the fact that they were consistently able to win thrifty rounds, consistently able to win pistol rounds. Yeah. It's been the exact inverse this time around, with C9 taking that Zeta role and keeping themselves alive with pistol wins.
They still seem to be very happy, laughing, giggling, like the vibes are being brought back by the coaching staff, which is good to see. Because that's the thing, even if things start to slip away, they're still in the lead, they're still on that defensive side, and we've already seen many hero plays out from this roster. The individual skill cannot be questioned, so C9 can't get too ahead of themselves just yet. Fact is, though, early stages of this one, they're trying to almost blitz their way in. Led by Oxy. It's only going to be the one and done. He went in with the Blade Storm, though, so I don't believe that's a weapon loss, so nothing that can be retrieved by Laz. Although I will say, if I see Laz on one side of the map, I'm going the other way.
There is a Judge close as well to be recovered. It's not a lot, but it's something. It'd certainly help him out on this close range hold. Mid is wide open. That's obviously going to be a concern for him with nothing to defend it. Turret back on in 12. We might see it placed, but for now, the human turret of Hero Ran is here. And yeah, 2 players spotted inside of B main. It's that mid lurk that I'm worried about from Jake. If Hero Ran is distracted by the B main play, if it comes through, Jake could find an opening to slip in. The paranoia does give it away, though. That's been seen and noted and heard.
But they're going back. The knife caught 2 players. Now this leaves the only defender as Sugar Zero. Paranoia is perfect, and so is the shot. An execution of Jake. Now they don't have those smokes to play with either. Kayada, this might be a nasty surprise. They're expecting a pistol to be within this smoke. It's a risky game. With that rifle on the other side. And now they're going to try and deny the utility. Not allow those ults to be put into play as Zeta have a chance in this round.
Post-plant Hunter's Fury, though, time will be run down by Vanity. You see him run all the way back to A main. Supportive utility is the best that he'll be offering with a recon. Knife out on site. Zeppas knows there's one player coming from heaven, but the timing is perfect for Sugar Zero.
This ult is worthless.
He was spotted and accounted for it. Now Vanity has to run it forward, take these fights halfway defused already, and he's given up. He's realized there's no winning this round. There's no escaping. The recovered Judge deals the final blow as Laz picks up his second in the round. That is 11-8. One step closer to closing out Cloud9's map pick. And, well, giving them a little taste of deja vu.
Impressive. I think, again, you have to give some credit to the coaching staff because even just the smiles going back onto their faces after having that little chat. A couple of individual plays. And, again, these are the experienced players. Laz, Sugar Zero, the ones that have been there before. If they can pump up the youngsters, they can definitely close this map. And what a round to do it. And it's been a bit quieter from Sugar Zero than what we've seen so far throughout this tournament. For C9, there has to be a response. Financially, no issues. They've got that purchase back in, but they actually used a couple of ults in that last round, and all of them went amiss.
Dangerous recon used. C9 very quick to react with Curry hightailing it out of main. He plays with Vanity. He knows what it means when he sees that go up, and Uran was very much looking to replicate that performance. I like the off-angle change as well. He's using a very similar setup to what you see with the Killjoy, where Kaida is basically the turret right now to allow that wallbang to come through. Close range, drone goes through, decent range on it. He'll get just around the corner, and there's one spotted. Spike seen as well. But it's all, just because the spike is there, just look at the mini-map. 2 outside A, 1 watching mid push. Quite a passive play from this squad. Damage done already. Curry's extremely low. He's getting behind the boxes to try and have a safe space to play from. Still a shock dart in play for Uran as well. That could have went extremely badly.
Yeah, they're kind of in no man's land as well. 35 seconds left, and they're only just starting to make a move into middle. Bear in mind, there's multiple players ready and waiting on short. In fact, Laz even has a lockdown. If he was to place this now, then they're in so much danger. There goes the Hunter's Fury to try and displace Laz, but they've still got to get into the site, and they still have to deal with him. It's a different story altogether. 15 seconds now, and they're only just making their way into the site. This is looking like a fumble from Cloud9 as they fall one by one. Zeta, a 12th now on the board on their opponent's map choice. And that looked messy from C9.
Oh, for sure, yeah. This was an idea of trying to poke and prod at B main, hope that A main aggression comes in. They make noise on the other side. They showed them the spike. They let them know, hey, yeah, we're thinking of B, we're thinking of B. Why don't you take some space on A? But they don't. They sit with 3 players on A. They're ready and waiting. They dodge the Hunter's Fury. Laz somehow working around it to still find kills, still make it out alive.
22-11, by the way.
Just pixel-perfect gameplay from this Zeta side. And there's a reality where you come into a game like this, maybe even some Redditors out there are going to look at it and go, oh, C9 choked. They look terrible. No, Zeta are playing an incredibly good game here. Sure, that round was a little bit staggered out, but again, it speaks to the patience and the discipline of this squad of Zeta. They are so good at deciding when to take those aggressive stances, when to go for those early flanks, and when to sit back and let their opponents make the mistake. And that's what we just saw there.
Oh, C9. They've got a chance to see if Imi can pick them back up. 4 rounds in a row needed. As said, they have really not felt pressure on a map of Ascent so far as this team. Fennel yesterday was a walk in the park. Oxy was farming with probably the best performance of the tournament so far, and this game, it's not been bad. I'm not going to say that, but it hasn't been that same level from him individually. This purchase also, it's looking rough. 0 ultimates. They don't even have weapons or decent. Well, actually, Zeppa's got a stinger. He's pretty good with the stinger. Curry's looking at an attack side judge, which pretty reliant on aggression. And on the other side of things, well, Laz has had a lockdown for multiple rounds, just not really had a spot to use it in. Hero run as well, null command. Sugar Zero could even use from the shadows for quick rotation. So it makes this round so difficult for them to play with, and by the looks of things,
Backside judge.
at least now they're setting up for what looks like an A take once again. Maybe just trying to pick up the pace just a little bit, because the last 2 rounds, well, it's come close on the clock.
Oh, wow. Even going to be canceled out. No utility to play with that knife landing at the perfect timing. Hero Ron knows there's a player up close. Oxy's been accounted for. Good read on where the second player would be, but no shutdown to be found. Every single player of Zeta steps up on the A site. And an unbelievable result. 1-0 for the second time against C9, this time on their map pick with Bind and Lotus to try and close this out. Zeta showing a level that we haven't seen from this squad in a long time. This is beautiful gameplay. And C9 now have to perform a reverse sweep or face elimination.
It is popping off in this arena. CLOUD9's pick Ascent goes to Zeta. There's definitely a home crowd support that you can feel here in the Ryogoku Kokukikan Arena. That wasn't just any map win. It was at times a dominant and disciplined one, Tom.
Yeah, it definitely got close in the middle. I think C9 started a run of rounds, but I don't know what was said within that tactical pause from Zeta, but it flipped the switch. Then clearly they had either spotted something, or it was just that thing. Like, everybody started smiling and laughing after that tactical pause, and they didn't drop around after it. In fact, things were squeaky clean towards the end of that defensive half. So fantastic stuff from Zeta, and wow, now they've got 2 chances to take themselves to a semi-final.
Yeah, of course, this is a best of 3 situation in front of this home Japanese crowd, who of course only want one team to take this one home. This is an opportunity for Zeta to live a fairy tale dream. Can they finish the job? We'll find out when we come back. Welcome back to Red Bull Homeground 2023, live from Tokyo, Japan. We've got the home favourite Zeta kicking off our first quarter-final in tremendous style, taking Cloud9's pick Ascent and taking this into our second map of the series. And we've got Mitch and Tom ready to talk you through it, enjoying their lighty blue Red Bull.
The lighty one is so good.
The lighty one slaps. Let me get a purple one, hold on.
The thing that's going to really upset me as well is I don't think I can get this when we go back to the UK.
No,
so.
this is one of the two only available in Japan, I believe.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sad.
not true. You got a stock under the desk, I've seen them. All right, let's get back
I'm
to
going to
business.
have a whole suitcase full. I'm going to buy a new one just to put the lighty in there.
What a complete advanced performance from this young team.
What made it advanced?
Just beyond their years, though, right? It's true, though, right? When you think about it, they are playing beyond their years when it comes to experience.
And they're advancing in the series.
Well done. Well
Yes,
done.
thank you.
Honestly, I put you under pressure and you thrive.
Yeah.
Just like
you
Zeta.
said, you're bulletproof.
Just like Zeta, put under pressure and he thrived.
That's
Exactly.
it. Thrive in a live environment, that's what they say. But they are shocking, seasoned veterans opposite them, Mitch.
They absolutely are. Yeah, look, the reality is on that C9 roster, sure, you've got some newer faces, but the depth that they can bring to the table in terms of international experience, in terms of age, I mean, Vanity has been IGLing for God knows how long, been there since the start of Valorant, and up here against this squad, I think most people would have them pinned as clear favorites. I think coming into the tournament, they were clear favorites in their opening matchup against this squad. We moved to BO3s, and you say, oh, well, there's no more randomness, there's no more BO1s. Now this is where they'll thrive. And on C9's map
They can't just win both pistols and win the game, guys. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Then they lose both pistols and still win the game, and C9 only get 8 rounds.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there a single thrifty from Zeta in that? I don't remember seeing the word
there
thrifty
was the
pop up.
one. There was the one
Okay.
where Laz got a kill and then picked up the judge, and then you had Sugar Zero get a headshot with the sheriff.
Yes.
swap. So
Okay.
there was
So
that
shy
one,
of
and that
that.
actually turned them around. So
Well,
One
speaking
thrifty versus multiple from before.
of Laz, you and every single other fan in this arena, huge fans of him for obvious reasons, and he's showing up when it matters here. Some really big moments from him.
Oh, yeah. I honestly, he performed unbelievably well. And that's the thing. When you've got a young squad, like I'm sure any Japanese Valorant player, or even just any Valorant player, your dream is to play with Laz. Like, he is the face of Japanese Valorant.
The Japanese player.
And then you're playing with him, and he's doing just ridiculous shit all the way through the game, where you're just sat there like, I don't understand how, like, running through decimates one player, gets blinded completely, kills the second player, then gets put into a 1v2 scenario where it's like he had a sixth sense. The guy went to put down a turret and he's just ready for it, and he kills the last guy by bouncing the nano swarm, and Vanity can't hit it with an Odin. Didn't have enough bullets, I don't think.
Listen, it's hard sometimes, the running inaccuracy and so on. But the reality is, you know, for this guy, there's going to be some conversations out there about players like Oxy and even C9 just overall underperforming, not playing the same level, all this sort of stuff. And actually, I don't even think that's the case. It's like Zeta are stepping up to another level. They're outclassing them again and again. And I just can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, this squad has never, throughout that entire map, I cannot even think of a mistake they made. I can't point to something and go, that was silly, that was bad. If anything, we started out the first couple of rounds and we saw some hiccups from C9. We saw them look a little bit desynergized, and that is an insane sign for the success that Zeta are bringing to the table here. Now they've got their map pick up next as well. You have to think that only favors them to close this out 2-0.
When you are a player that can step up to the plate and come into form, and look, Laz is a player, when he does come into form, he will tear you apart. What a place to do it. You know,
for sure.
Because there's one thing coming into form at an environment not like this, but then doing it in front of a home crowd in an arena like this against big teams, that takes a different level of courage.
The thing as well is, like, everybody going into an off-season tournament like this, like Fnatic, I think most of them are thinking, there's not a lot of pressure on us here. Like, we're favorites, but if we lose, it doesn't matter that much. We've heard the same from, like, DRX. It's like, we're testing a few things. We've got some young players in. For Laz, this is in his hometown, it's his team's hometown, and he's got to perform because all the fans, all the expectation, it's not on the young players.
No, it's on him.
It's on that guy right there.
Yeah.
And that guy right there is taking things into his own hands. He's going onto the chamber. Now, yes, we've got Yoru on Oxy. That's going to be a really fun dynamic between the two, because now Laz is he's taken over in a much different way, because before he's the site anchor. Now he's up in your face here.
The heat is on, and we are going into Zeta's map pick here. They've already taken Cloud9's. We're going to bind. What do Cloud9, we've given Zeta their props here, how do Cloud9 switch things around, Mitch?
Well, look, Oxy, quite simply, like, playing a Yoru on this map, there's so much that you can do. Cloud9 will be looking to bypass last. He's got utility.
And you can spam with an out.
Yeah, look, it's not, if Vanity was on the Yoru, I believe that's what we were about to see. I'm not sure Oxy will fully follow.
I'd just default to
Just
the
leave.
2-0.
The reality is, Laz is going to want to hold choke points. He's going to use his utility to stop you getting in, hold an angle, take you down. Oxy's going to want to not peek an angle, but teleport behind you. Make you look at your back, then his team swings the angle. That's going to be great for their attacking side.
Who was one of the OG Yorus on this particular map? You should know, because I brought it up to you a million times.
Is it Laz?
It is Laz.
Yeah.
So if anybody's going to know
what's
the
going
sort of
down.
lineups, the chaos that's going to be created, it is going to be the man. Well, the man of the moment, I guess.
Now, of course, we know that Zeta can win a best of one. We've already seen that.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've seen them move into a second map of a series. This is a different territory, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, and also it's Yatsuka looking for a win. He's been subbed in again. Obviously, we've seen it with Kaeda playing the Jet, but on this map, he's the one that brings in the Rays. And that's the thing. The rest of the team, as you said, they've had a victory.
Yeah.
They've got the cheer from the fans. Whereas for him, this is still, as a young player, an opportunity to take that dub, show that he is a strong player over on that Rays, and, well, maybe hype up that crowd a little bit, because it didn't go well for him in that last game.
All right, well, if this is a short day for you two casters, I want an advanced performance from you right here, right now. Can we see Zeta, the home team, continue their fairy tale story with a 2-map win here and progress into our semi-finals, or will Cloud9 kick back? It's time to find out. Tom and Mitch, take it away.
My money's on Zeta after what I've seen so far, Tom. I think a lot of the people in the audience would agree with us there, but C9 might have some bite to them, just like that Tiger did right off rip. They've sent that up from Hero Ron, cleared out the Yoru, forced him to use his gate crash to get back towards the B site, and the space is well and truly being taken. Last, even the first to find a pick. The head hunter has found its mark with Zeppa down. The advantage sits with Zeta, and C9 might want to make, oh no!
Dear.
Well, Curry thought he was going to come through the wall, and well, he didn't.
It looked like he was a little bit lost in the sauce, but Vanity, he's just been wrecked through the smoke, leaving just a couple of players left, and they've gone through the TP. Now Jake is in a great position. The flash, that was a team flash. Sugar Zero gets caught, and because of that, it now turns back. The interesting thing, though, is just look at the position of Yatsuka. He has gone all the way through B. They're waiting. He's going to clear everything. Now, they can just double back. There's no way that anybody can beat them to the punch. It's just going to be on this duel. And I don't know if Oxy's going to expect anybody to be this far forward. An execution on the rotation back for the rest of the players. This is now free. Time is a little bit low, but with a full W key towards the B site, they shouldn't have a problem, and it may not even matter too much if Yatsuka can get that final frag.
They've got the time to get in here, and I like Yatsuka's patience, pulling him back into an angle where he's wide in the open. Guys, there we go. It was a firing squad there, but the guns must have jammed. Eventually, they pull it across the line, and Yatsuka, you know, he had a really rough time with his debut here. Got to play up against Fnatic.
Yeah, it's Fnatic. Well, if you have a bad day in your first game as a youth player when you're playing against Fnatic, who were the best team of last year,
I give you a little bit understandable. But for him now, a great opportunity, not just up against C9, a team that his squad has already defeated on their map pick, somewhere he's comfortable, where he gets to play his Rays. But add to that, it's his first game on the stage in front of this crowd as well, which is a huge, well, it's a huge factor, a huge environmental hazard, perhaps. But for him, I think he's going to draw from it as a young player.
An environmental hazard.
Yeah, the environment could cause hazardous results for his gameplay. There we go. That worked. I thought Ian was pulling out a sword there. He's got a 360-degree camera on a gigantic stick.
Just a weird guy, isn't
He is a bit strange,
Just weird.
but we love him.
We might be a little bit of a stretch. You know, it's all right. He can't hear me. I'm speaking quiet.
Yeah, he's walking away.
It's fine. All right, he's gone. Okay, we can carry on.
Might have heard you. But
do
some
have
things that
ourselves.
weren't being heard were things on the server. Sound issues, though. There's a technical pause for now, giving a moment to breathe to C9, who, if you'll recall, lost the previous map, but won both pistols.
Yeah.
They've now lost the opening pistol here on Bind. Zeta's home field advantage doubled down on.
It's interesting for me that obviously C9 have looked fairly comfortable to try and turn games around, but especially when you're running a double duelist with a Yoru, picking that defensive side is very interesting. Like, I think that coming into this one, a lot of the time you're going to have high expectations for Oxy on the attack. But defensive Yoru, yeah, it's kind of mid. I think, like, obviously you've got your ideas, which I don't necessarily agree with. But one thing I will like on this map is Vanity in hookah with a shotgun. There's only a couple of players I really think of in that position. The other is Link. Not this shotgun particularly. I feel like there's another one that is slightly better, but, you know, maybe you can make that Bucky work.
Could be the dawn of a new age. If Vanity can inspire the folks at home.
Yeah, revitalized it after Bucky FC.
Yeah, long time since we've seen the Bucky.
Who in the future, you may know them as Fnatic.
Might have heard of them.
Yeah, they're a
They
bit of
play some other
they're like
esports
a small indie team.
Yeah, they do one or two other games. Kind of tend to do okay in them.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for Curry, 64 HP. He's been clean with the headshots, but Hero Wrong gives him a taste of his own medicine. Now the space taken, the smoke out. Nobody inside of Hookah can really have a say over this site take, and, well, everything is cleared. For Vanity, you know, the Bookie could be strong if they entry into Hookah, but for him jumping out of it, not quite a favorable engagement. Well handled by Laz, playing with full Headhunter bullets and a Sheriff. I mean, he really wants to go for headshots, and there it is. The Bookie's found one. And now he's actually ended up with a Sheriff, a chance to fight back, but there's still 4 players to pick up. Really, it's about damage for C9. How many players can they force to drop their weapons moving into the next round? And well, it's not a lot for now. Vanity could push it over the line, though. 1 or 2 more kills here, and they'll start to feel the ripple effects of that damage.
Just one more would be nice.
Oh, the damage
the
done.
thing is, they've actually got to get out of there as well before the spike does the work for him. Don't worry, the Stim Beacon is available.
Stim Beacon!
To help them out. There you go, 2-0. Good start from Zeta.
When we see the Stim Beacon downtown, doesn't matter who's in the middle of a sense. I want you just throwing it in.
But the thing is, like, I like doing it, don't get me wrong. But I can't compete.
But you don't need to. That's the thing. We're on the English stream, right? I think a lot of people won't know. So you can give it your spin, your take, in full chest. I believe in you, Tom. I believe in you.
I don't know. I'm not sure I'm up to it. Maybe we'll sub Ian in just to say the word.
Just to say Stim Beacon.
And nothing else.
I reckon Ian would slay that. Ian would absolutely slay that if we need him. Whenever the Stim Beacon goes down, Ian, your job is to scream Stim Beacon with full chest.
You know what Stim Beacon is?
This is not a great start for Zeta. They've already lost a lot of players. Good hold on this B side, and
that was a quick round.
Very quick conclusion. That was the bonus round for Zeta. One C9 are expected to win, and one they very much have won.
Yeah, an absolute blitz through in towards the side.
Fan and crowd. Let's go.
Now they will be coming back in with a purchase. Now none of the ults particularly close to being online. Jake will have that orbital strike soon, however, for the defense. He got off to a decent start so far in this game. Quieter stuff from Zeppa, who I'm excited to see play the Raze. I'll be honest. I think they're given a little bit more freedom. This guy's skill level is off the charts.
Always been an exciting player to watch.
And up against Yatzuka, who, relatively unproven. This is going to be a pop flash through, but Laz is able to escape. He's actually on top of the box. We'll still fall back. Oxy is taking so much ground. In the meantime, the opposing team has started to put pressure in towards the showers. The thing is, the combo of that snake bite and the nade will hold them back a little bit longer. And okay, Oxy, he wanted that fight, and so did Zeppa.
It was a little bit mistimed. The 3 players on the A side. TP goes through. And maybe he's just trying to get that quick shot off and get out of there, but no chance that time around. Zeppa down to 11 HP after his engagement. Backing up the B site. That rotation,
I think he's got
the cautionary one, just to get the heals back up. But the problem is the A site, in the meantime, will be focused on by Zeta. Laz with a huge opportunity. 2 players about to peek him. He's just cleared the angle. Here comes the swing. He's a little closer than they expect, but he's whiffed. Curry's able to punish. C9 maintain their hold on the site. Jake goes down, and so too does Curry. But Zeppa's rotated back. He's made it just in time to slow the push, to stop it, to put the spike on the floor. 9 HP, 0 in fact on Yatsuka. A huge round from Zeta. 3 kills already, and he's sitting healthy on 99 HP. Uran has got one hell of a task with 17 seconds left. A blast pack to throw him out of position and take him down. Zeta, a man of many talents, and that's why we were excited to see him pick up this raid.
Yeah, he's just gone from bottom of the board to second on the board in a matter of seconds in itself. 4 kills. A huge performance from him, because it did start a little bit rough. The TP strat from Oxy didn't really go to plan, but just managing to clean things up. And yeah, I think he shoots him just before that blast pack goes off, and it allows him to finish the job. Now, there's not going to be much on offer for this round for Zeta. After winning those initial couple of rounds, again, this is another map where expectations are that the defense will get the majority of the rounds. But again, we know that Zeta in these sort of pistol purchases can be deadly, so C9 have got to be careful here.
I like Oxy's use of these decoys just to clear out some of these angles. It's a strange one going back into the wall, but that's at least the info. No one's outside of hookah for now. Presence across the map from Zeta. You'll see this a lot on Bind with the TPs, but they haven't been able to get up on B long. Still some presence from the defenders there. Curry swinging out alongside Zeta to grab that kill. Last down. The pistols don't stand much of a chance in those kind of engagements. You really need the numbers advantages if you're going to make it work. The one thing they have is an isolated Zeta. They know where he is, and they're able to take him down. The smoke's blocking off the rest of the team. The showstopper used, and it looks like they're just about avoiding the orbital strike. Unfortunately, they can't avoid Curry.
30 seconds left again. Oh, the smoke fading. Curry just taking this round into his own. A chance to maybe get himself the ace as well. The super sub, the stand-in who's come to join C9. He looks like a natural. I do wonder if Whippy sat there going, oh dear, oh dear.
Big day in Tokyo today. The Curry Grand Prix is actually on later on today in the city, and it looks like there's a competition from Curry himself. He's looking to be the #1 rated.
30 seconds left.
Phenomenal performance from him in this round. Obviously, it was against pistols, but that is very much where C9 have stumbled and fallen in the past.
You need someone to shut those rounds down. Well, it seems like each round a new player jumps up the board, and that's going to get him the Viper's Pit online to...
That's an annoying pit.
Just shut things down into middle.
Oh, that's such an annoying pit. Look at the space it takes. Even towards hookah, or I always call it hookah, lamps. There's a safe space to sit in. Nothing they can do to deny that. And also, you can get aggressive right up in towards their spawn. Yeah, that's it. I've never called it U-Haul. It probably would be easier. I'd remember it more.
Anybody who's it U-Haul is an A-Haul.
Nice! Oxy!
Okay. Wanted a little bit of flare out from this Euro on the defensive side, and that has ultimately shut down any form of aggression that Zeta can have. We've seen them play these rounds slow when it came to the last map on the attack, but their success has been minimal. They've been pushed a lot throughout this. Nice work from Sugar Zero, though. Oxy will be traded out eventually, but this double stack up is going to make things a lot more difficult. 2 angles to clear almost immediately. They don't expect Vanity, and well, the trade's eventually there. Uran's done well to at least make this one look competitive, and he's heard them go through the TP, and guess what? He's going right back through the other one. He's got the Viper's Pit as well. Now, where he places this is going to make things more troublesome, because they can look to surround him. Plant going to go down. He's actually not within the pit. He's just using it almost as cover.
Oh, that's so smart.
As he looks to wrap around. He's baiting them in. They're using the showstopper on the other side. It is watched by Curry, but it doesn't even matter. That showstopper's going to achieve nothing, trying to bait him in, and Zeta lands the shot once again. This man has been the savior a couple of times, but again, we talk about these youngsters and how much, well, cognitive ability they have in those moments. A smart attempt from Uran.
Like I say, I'm becoming a fan of this guy. Every round I watch, I come out with a smile on my face seeing him do this. Now, Oxy's play here was beautiful. You saw him in the replay. 3 pieces of utility used. As you turn from the first flash, you turn, you see him running out. No, it's a decoy. You turn from the decoy flash, you turn back on, blind again, and then he swings. Really hard to deal with, but Uran's positional play is just off the charts. His flanks have been unreal. We saw that yesterday up against C9. He was tearing them apart. And this time, putting down the pit, planning outside, moving around through lamps. It's just so intelligent. And okay, the read was still there from Curry, and you have to commend him from that. He turned, he realized maybe hearing a step as he sped through. But that was his best opportunity, because otherwise they run in, Curry probably dies, but the showstopper fires off immediately and the round is over. A wise play.
Well, Zeta, they're going to pull themselves, or try and pull themselves back with a tactical pause. We saw that in the last map have high amounts of impact. It is looking like almost a reverse story of the last map. C9 obviously winning both pistols, but struggling in the buys. Remember, it was round 8. That was the one other round that they managed to win in that first half. We'll see if Zeta could do a little bit better here. I do think that even just getting 4 or 5 rounds on this attacking side can sometimes be enough. I'm not so confident when you're up against a Yoru Raze comp, though. I still expect a decent amount of attack rounds to come in from C9, them feeling confident on this map, having played it not too long ago. I'm going to see what can actually be done here. Bear in mind, ult-wise, not really a lot to be played with for Zeta either to sort of pad the gaps a little bit. In fact, it's just going to be the Guardian and once again, some pistols and a Marshal.
Blinded.
Now we see a very similar setup. I guess the Nats of old. Viper wall up towards lamps. Orb as well. Obviously these days, it's a little harder to make that properly work. Fake teleport from Oxy as he goes back towards the spawn, but maybe he does wish he was around this A site. They might need reinforcements. 3 players here at least, and 3 very impactful ones at that. It's Zeppa to take the first blood. Yoran down. Big player for the squad of Zeta. Now out of the round, but Laz steps up to the plate. Quick kill, rifle on the floor. But he doesn't want to retrieve it. He doesn't need to. Not when he's got this weapon in hand and an ultimate that he could pop.
Yeah, it's whether or not they believe they can take this round. The thing is, the push into the A site was attempted to just be a ruse. Guardian retrieved. Now we're going to get the info out from Oxy, though. This is actually huge. He's going to spot a couple of players, even going to try and just go for it from behind, baiting them out with the util, and he will take down Sugar Zero. The spike now pushing through as Oxy looks to try and do more damage. One more man to deal with, and he's got the shorty if needed. Even going to try and go for the knife. Definitely wants to show that extra flair with this agent, and while Zeta, the only damage that was done was on the wrong side of the map.
Now listen, Tom, if you're going to ask me, do I prefer that Yoru setup or the one inside the TP, maybe that one. That one was pretty good. That was very
So what
nice.
you're saying is the professional player for Cloud9 has a better setup than you, and you're acting
Slightly.
like that's news.
Slightly. I am impressed by what Oxy's bringing to the table. He might be marginally better than me.
Just marginally, okay.
At theory crafting. Just slightly. Just
And what about with, like, aim?
close game. We'd have to set up a tournament, a competition, a 1v1 perhaps. But, you know, my schedule's pretty busy.
Yeah,
I don't know
I've
that I
seen
can
you
make that
versus
work.
pro players before.
All right. Well,
In
this
fact,
guy,
both
yeah,
of them
okay.
need to use
It looks like Curry's picked up the first kill, Tom, so you can stop talking about that. Yatsuka already down. Big kill with Yoran following, and Zeta on their buy round, stumbling into it. C9 just picking them apart, isolating every duel. No potential for trades. This has been a tough one for the Zeta squad, and all their credits were invested into it.
Well, we saw yesterday C9 start the day out slow, and then absolutely blitz their opponent in the second map of the day. It just happened that those were against different teams. It's looking like they might be doing the same once again. Laz has at least found one. He was incredibly clutch in that last map, but they need so much more. A 2v4 scenario ensues as they look to try and turn that tide back. The thing is, though, they're surrounded. You already have Vanity in a deep enough position that he can hold them in on the backlines, but also switch back if they try and head through the TP. Also just getting in the back of their minds, and Oxy's not losing that battle. Now for Hero Ron, well, he's hoping he can find a gap. He spotted Vanity running back towards Long. That's a piece of information that might help him out at least a little bit. Means he can probably get a safe plant within the tube, but well, he's anything but safe from this point. Being spammed from every which way, and he will get absolutely nothing. Another clean round from Cloud9 as they increase their advantage even further, and even round 8 couldn't save them.
I'll tell you what, Tom, what we're seeing here, as Ian Chambers would say, this is some advanced gameplay from C9. They're looking fantastic at the moment. And I think You know, if I'm C9, I don't change anything. You just keep doing the same thing. Rely on Oxy having these nasty setups. He's the one that will be, I guess, providing that little bit of extra depth. And outside of that, it remains the same. Hold your choke points, let Zeta walk in and isolate every duel as it has been. For Zeta, I want to see them group up. I want to see them move as a unit, try to obliterate them.
Let's play.
Double flashes towards B long, a very tough situation to deal with. They're using the tour de force to try and bridge the gap on this low buy round. The operator in Vanity's hands, though, is doing all the work. And
yeah, the sky op. Not the most common. Oh, the spades could be problematic. I don't know how he's managed to survive that. The spam through, not getting quite as much damage as would have been hoped for Iran. Normally a maestro with the Sheriff. Still, though, a tour de force in Laz's hands. He was world class with the operator. Feels like a lifetime ago that we saw him play the roles that really suit. But even still, again, they've got a two-man disadvantage just to try and get anything done.
Blinded.
And they're running into a three-man crossfire.
Teleport's ready.
it's the op still. Even on 20 HP, Vanity's confident to swing out wide and hold that angle. He's set up again. I don't even know who point of contact will be. I feel like at this point, C9 are confident in just taking their battles. Close angle
30 seconds left.
from Oxy. No gate crash to get out of there. But it might not be checked on the way through. They've got a smoke, so Laz is able to clear it. Cerebral play. It's just down to Jake on site. Tucked in the corner, grabbing Sugar Zero, leaving Laz to try and eliminate them all. 2 shots left in the tour de force, but they won't get a chance to be fired.
Yeah, a nice attempt, but wasn't able to do it all. Operator going to be saved, and C9 have gone on a streak of 7 rounds in a row. For Zeta, this is now starting to really become problematic. They have not been able to find any which way back in, be it through the passive setups that C9 have had or really aggressive pushes. Like, that's what I've liked so far by C9. This defense has been dynamic. It hasn't just been this one sort of setup that's been working out for them. They have constantly pushed and pulled Zeta in which ways that they don't know how to deal with. And now they come in, like, that's the thing. We've seen multiple ult rotations at this point from Zeta. They have nothing other than the rifles in their hand. Nice start at least from Yatsuka, but Oxy! Oh, this man has been on fire.
There's very little negative to say about this round for C9. Laz, again, having a big clutch to make happen, walking into the operator, but Vanity has not been missing. Perfect play from the defensive side. 8 rounds on the board, and that was a real blink and you miss it kind of round. So quickly finding all of those kills, and even abandoning the operator now. They've just dropped it out of the map. Like, Oxy is just phenomenal. This guy's a sensational player. The Yoru looks good. I was excited for it, and I've not been disappointed, let's say it that way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Again, I feel like he has been so difficult for them to deal with. It's definitely been a rough game so far for the side of Zeta, yeah. Other than the pistol second round, there really has been absolutely nothing. Zuka at least has that showstopper to try and put something into the round, but he's dead the second. He didn't even get to finish the voice line. Jake puts him in the dirt. That was their one major thing in this round, I guess, other than the Laz rifle. The tour de force helping him to have a few extra credits here and there, but the thing is, he's not been playing bad. He's been able to get a couple of kills here and there in the rounds, but it's not been enough for them to actually win any of them.
No, that's it. You know, his stats might look reasonable, but at the end of the day, it hasn't been able to even come close to converting to a round win. We need so much more from the side of Zeta. Bind certainly looking good for C9, and no signs of slowing down. Round after round of successful play. Oh, that shorty won't quite work out. Laz still has to find 4 more kills, an ace to win this round. An all too familiar storyline for this player. He's gone for the TP, but he hasn't got the spike. So that's going to be a bit of an issue, and maybe even just wanting to carry the weapon
left.
forward.
Or
I
try
doubt
and get
it.
the tour de force.
Double TP in.
That's the only thing I can think of, is just try and get as close to your ultimate as humanly possible. Hope that maybe this sort of loosens where some of the players are. Maybe give to him a 1v1 duel, but Oxy is turned into a demon. He was good in the first map. Decent, maybe. but he has been phenomenal in this second, 13-6. Vanity himself has been up there as well. 9-2. Utter domination on this defensive half. There has been nothing to write home about from Zeta's side of things, and it seemed like they ran out of ideas a long, long time ago.
Yeah, definitely. And anything they have tried to throw together just has been met with an iron defense from the side of C9. You know, Zeta are very much getting the Fennel treatment right now. We're seeing the same side of this defensive half that Fennel did. Oh, no. 1-to-1 trades. The best Zeta have had to open things up, at least. Showstoppers online, not finding anything. Spams also falling flat. Yatsuka stepping up to the plate, but the return is there. Not with an op this time, but Vanity can still get the damage done, rifle in hand. Zeta will look elsewhere to try and recover this round, and it's Uran walking up on A. He's been so good at flanks and lurks, but not this time. Curry, wise to his tricks, has left this down to a 1v3 and even closed it himself. A beautiful anchor on the A site and a near flawless half from C9. Shy of losing the pistol, they didn't have any hiccups.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about Curry. I feel like I haven't seen him in a while. He's 11-4.
He's only died 4 times.
He's been fantastic, but it's just the fact that a lot of these defensive rounds have been so aggressive that he's just chilling on the A side. Like, don't worry, guys. If they do go A, I'm going to win us the round. But you kind of haven't needed me just because you're just running right. Like, Vanity has been playing insanely well. Oxy as well. And yeah, there hasn't been a weak link. And on the other side of things, yeah, they just didn't seem to have the depth on that attack to really find any gap in that C9 defense. Now going on to the attack side, as I said, like, I expect the attack side to be harder, but when you're running this Yoru Raze, you have two very prominent players who can take that entry, and also just the fact that Zeta have looked a little bit flat on their own map choice. I don't see a road back into this one for Zeta.
No, I very much agree with that. You know, we talked about Laz being one of the original Yorus on this map and knowing kind of what Oxy might want to throw out there, but there's a difference between understanding how you play a Yoru, understanding how Oxy might want to use that util, and actually reacting to it, like that B long play, flash into decoy, into flash, then the peek. Like, what do you even do in that scenario? There were 3 players there. None of them could see a goddamn thing because of how much utility was bombarded their way. And then a lot of the time he has Vanity with him too. So it's Yoru flash, decoy, sky flash, Yoru flash, now you're dead.
The thing is, he normally as well has a fake out set up somewhere so that you're expecting now to be pushed from somewhere, and it's actually a fake out and he's somewhere else, and he's just completely bamboozled.
And the other thing is, if you dump utility, so Yoru flash, decoy, and you just start bombarding it back, he's going to TP back to the site. And just go, okay, now how are you going to push the site? You got no util left.
Exactly.
It's really, really nice play. And I think from this point, yeah, Zeta would have to just have a godlike performance. Even comparing what they did on the previous map, like this would have to be the best showing they've had so far. I think we're going to Lotus. We'll have one hell of a close game there. I have to hope that they built on what they learned because, you know, playing against Fnatic will teach you a lot. But they only got 5 rounds there, and I guess that means there are a lot of opportunities to patch up the holes.
Yeah. Hopefully for their sake they don't lose this many in a row. Laz, it's just not the start they were looking for. If they were going to have any response, Sugar Zero could at least get one, but even still the advantage sits strongly with C9. Nade through. Vanity's going to take some damage, but he has the heals to help out at least the other members of his team. Can't help himself, unfortunately. That Boombot is going to clear the position. Nice work from Yatsuka to at least get one. I don't know if there's much more to be had. A nice attempt, and now it's all left onto Uran. It seems like they know exactly where he is. And this decimation continues. We mentioned the fact that yesterday Zeta lost 11 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
They have again lost 11 rounds in a row.
Yeah, this is, well, you know, the funny thing is that was their second map yesterday. It's their second map here today. Might even compound. It could get worse. In fact, Tom, it should get worse because now it's the pistol that they've lost is the 11th.
They have to force. There's no point trying to take this from 12-2. We've seen miracles in the past, but that would have to be the best of them.
Just Taylor, we're back on the server, and look at the buy. Look at the difference. A forced buy from Zetas, a few pistols, a Marshall. Now that can be dangerous. Sheriff Marshall, Headhunter as well. But it's rifles across the board for C9, and scarily, it's Zeppa, Judge in hand, probably going to be following on that dog. The Tiger leading the way, the Judge following, and, well, Jury and Executioner most certainly. Zeppa Gonna catch the one down below. Yes, he is. His second kill up close.
Player standing.
The weaker weapon on the side of C9, doing a lot of the work, leaving just one. Yatsuka. We mentioned the Marshal. Well, there's only one player, well, two players, in fact, that will be vulnerable to the body shot, but another two who he's got to hit heads. A tough 1v4, to say the least.
There. Grenade.
Trying to clear out some of these positions, but Curry ready and waiting. 12 rounds in a row for C9. You're not going to see something like that too often. And now just needing one more, and as we've already mentioned, that was a force buy. So the buy is not going to improve much. For Yatsuka, it's looking like another bleak scenario coming into the team. And we will also probably talk about it in the break, but previously when they played over on Lotus, he was in the team. I wonder if they keep that.
I think they swap back.
Just because Kaeda has definitely been one to make more of a mark thus far. It's just whether the comp is more important than the player playing it.
C9 look to close it out here, and again, Zeta have a lot of weaknesses to work with. There's the joke for Uran. He's caught in the spams afterwards. Flash in, Hero Ron is caught by it. I thought he'd avoided it. They sent it right into the back of the site. Looks like C9 just cannot make a mistake. Even wall banging Hero Ron as we swapped over to see a butchery on the A site. 4 versus 2. Laz is a headhunter and a shorty. Sugar 0 on a bulldog. The hopes and dreams of this Zeta squad to find a 2-0. Not looking to be realized here today. Big play needed from Laz. They jumped the angle. Good shot. Oxy down. Vandal to be recovered. He's going to get it. Now maybe an opportunity with this rifle in his hand, but no, they're too quick to chasing down. The confidence of C9, Thomas, on full display. And now Zeta only have one man left. With the B side, look, C9 don't even know where they want to take this. The dealer's choice.
Yeah, it really is just a run all the way across the map. Sugar Zero at least guessing right in the end, but you have to think 1 versus 3. He has had a quiet game, so he's going to manage that first. Puts it into a 1 versus 2, maybe garner them a 3rd round and not have it be a 13-round streak for C9. But even still, he's got so many angles left to clear, so many positions that they can be in, and Curry is going to swing off the back of the flash. 13 rounds in a row from C9. A pistol and the follow-up is all they lost in this entire map. After losing their own choice, I think they've shown that playing them on Bind, not a good idea.
Let me tell you, Vanity, he might be top of the scoreboard when it comes to kills. His op play on Sky looked fantastic, but his flashes in these last couple rounds especially were phenomenal. I don't know how he was consistently hitting players, even that last one. It's like he could see his screen. Like he knew exactly when he was going to peek the corner. And this is a much better face from C9. In fact, replicating their performance in map 2 yesterday up against Fennel. They 13-2'd them. Now they face another Japanese squad, 13-2 map 2. But this time, they've got to do it on a 3rd as well, and that could be a different story.
The respectful, wonderful Japanese fans continue their applause for both teams here, but after losing their pick, CLOUD9 clap back in this quarterfinal, taking Zeta to a 3rd and final map. C9 looking to put some NA in the semi-finals, Tom.
Yeah, no, the thing is, it's nice to see the series go the distance. It's maybe just the manner in which it's gone the distance, which isn't quite as enjoyable if you're sat within this arena right now. I will say the crowd wasn't silenced because, of course, the Japanese fans, wonderful in their way of cheering for their opposing side, but oh my, that must be a rough one to reset for the side of Zeta.
All right, well, we're going to take a reset here and now, but when we come back, our first quarterfinal here live in Tokyo, Japan at the Ryogoku Kokukikan Arena will conclude. Who's going to take it? We'll find out when we come back. back in what has to be one of the most memorable and unique venues in esports history. The majestic, magnificent sumo wrestling arena that is the Ryogoku Kokukikan Arena here in Tokyo, Japan. Now, we've got our English broadcast team here on, depending where you're sitting, the left-hand side of the arena, which is myself, Tom, and Mitch for now. But what's super cool is, as you can see on the screen, we've got an entire Japanese broadcast team running at the exact same time. This is one of the most, like I said before, most unique, mind-blowing experiences of my life. I can literally see those guys doing what they do best over there. They can see our casters trying to be as good as them and failing.
Poor them. I pity them.
Well, you're not as good as their host, even
That's
though they
true.
don't seem to have fun.
Oh, yeah. but isn't it cool? Because obviously we've got a live Japanese crowd here, so they're hearing the Japanese broadcast on the speakers. This is getting
Lucky
broadcast
them.
as well. Yes, lucky them. That would be a horrible experience if they had to listen to us three. But there's a lot going on here, and you can see them there, Tom. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's not that surprising to have the
No,
Japanese.
But it's cool running two separate broadcasts at the exact same time. Running to the same time means all talking about the exact same stuff, hitting bricks at the same time.
Never been
There's a lot
done
to think
before.
about.
You don't know what they're talking about. I think they're definitely not talking about some of the stuff we are.
No, absolutely not.
I think they're a lot more professional, I'll be honest.
Well, none of them turned up in their pajamas, so that's at least
true.
something.
That's true.
They're definitely better dressed, that's for sure. Now, have you joined us at a time where we are into our first quarter-final of Red Bull Homeground 2023? It is CLOUD9 versus Zeta. Of course, a lot of the fans here are wanting Zeta to win. On the second map, it didn't necessarily go their way. CLOUD9 cooking on gas. It was reminiscent of the team we saw up against Fennel yesterday, Tom.
Yeah, they got spanked. I think is what you're trying to say in a slightly nicer way than I put it. They won the pistol second round, but you can just end it there. That's the end of the highlight reel for the Zeta Division side, unfortunately, especially going into their map choice. I think the destructive nature of this C9 side was really difficult to play against. I think the fact that, again, we saw layers to what CLOUD9 were bringing in with, like, really passive holds and then seconds later these explosive defensive pushes. Zeta didn't have anything to deal with it, and I'm a little bit worried for them now, because it was a similar case when we saw them go on to Lotus, as we did yesterday versus Fnatic. They started strong and then just disappeared.
Yeah, I think you very much hit the nail on the head with a sledgehammer there, Tom. It's disruptive play from C9. You come in with ideas, but then you play up against this composition and up against Oxy, handling and manhandling the map the way that he was. Yeah. It's a very different ball game to try and run your strategies when every time you set up for one, he comes blitzing around the corners with 19 flashes, decoys, and hits two of your players in the head. You've got no smokes, and
if you
round
kill
falls
him,
apart.
Then Curry or Zeppa just get a 4K
or Vanity's got an op. You're like, hey, we killed Oxy. Let's go entry this up. Bang, one down. And Vanity's repositioned. Now he's got backup. It was really nice. Seeing these guys play was tasty. Almost as tasty as this.
Let's shine he loves his Red Bull. Let's shine a spotlight on Vanity right now, because he really did show his brilliance on that map there. Mitch is really good friends with him. I know that you're communicating with him a lot
really
here.
Good friends?
Yeah, he said that to me.
I was a great friend. I'm good friends with Vanity.
Does he know who you are?
You just said.
Hey, whoa.
He said you're best friends.
We're best buddies. We go for lunch. We hold hands in the park. You know, I love Vanity.
You've been replaced.
You're
now the new Mystic.
But what a performance
Whoa.
from him, right?
Yeah, no, an unbelievable performance. I think he shows us the amount of depth he has. You know, usually when we communicate, it's about Odin play, someone else Odin play. But for him,
yeah, Mitch DMs. There's no reply.
There's no reply. Yeah, it just says. Yeah, it's
best friend.
It's in the requests. He'll see it someday. But the reality is, you know, here he was showing us so much more. Not just his op play, not just his individual play. Yes, he was top of the scoreboard in kills, but add to that, his flashes were absolutely out of this world. I really enjoyed watching him play. Really enjoyed watching C9 on this map come out swinging in a map that they very much needed to do just that, replicating their second map yesterday up against the Japanese squad. But now it is Lotus. And look, Zeta, realistically, last time we saw them, they didn't do too well. 13-5 up against Fnatic yesterday. The reality is, though, when you play Fnatic, just in general, I mean, there's a reason that everyone wants to scrim this squad. They will show you all of the holes in your gameplay. They will teach you so much about what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in the break that we've had between yesterday and today, they've gone back to Lotus. And the fact that they left it through instead of Haven, which was a close game, with the Thrifties and so on, it does inspire me that they have taken a lot of notes out of that Fnatic game and hopefully patched up a lot of the holes that they had in their gameplay.
Well, you're filling Zeta fans with hope right now, but I mean, the reality is they just lost 13 rounds on the bounce.
Yeah.
It's a tough position to be in. For them, it's an unknown best-of-3 environment off the back of what was a really brutal loss. Home support will definitely go a long way here, but Zeta fans for sure, Tom, and the team alone, of course, have a long way to go here.
Well, yeah, I'm nervous for them. They get to win a map with Yatsuka in the team. I'm not going to say that it's in any way his fault. They've just had rough performances in those games.
On blast.
But the fact is, Hayada definitely has had more impact. I don't think there's anybody who can question that. Very good at taking that space. And if you look at the sort of composition they're running, they are really going to need him to perform to a very high level in this match. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble. So I am nervous for them. And honestly, I think Cloud9 are firmly back in the driver's seat.
Cloud9 are not going to be underestimating Zeta here either, are they, Mitch? Because,
not at all.
You know, they're coming off a blip-free bind and are going to be feeling super good.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, the momentum is in their court. Vanity's back in the controller, playing the Viper as well. Maybe he will steal the love I had for Mystic back in the day. Still have. And, yeah, but realistically, Oxy, that's who my eyes have got to be on. He's just played so unbelievably well, but that was with disruptive utility. That was with crazy rotations around the map on his gate crash. Now he's going to do it on the Raze, but we know damn well he's capable of doing that. A chance, though, for Yatsuka to step up to the plate and take him on in more conventional duels, maybe find his footing in this series.
If I had a live mic to the crowd right now, they wouldn't understand it.
I was going to say.
Great.
But I would get them hyped up and I'd get them popping off for Zeta right now, because I think that's what Zeta needs.
Okay, I don't really know how you expect. That's not really a question. You've said a statement to me, Ian, and then you went, I'm going to do this, Tom.
Yep.
Cool.
And I want you to agree with me. That's what.
Go on, man.
Cool,
I'll get
Ian.
you a mic.
Thanks.
All right, we're going into this, the third and final map of the quarterfinal. Luckily for you two, this is where my mic dips out. But last second predictions, go. Tom.
We got to go Zeta win.
Zeta win.
Hashtag Zeta win.
Hashtag Zeta win. Let's get into this. Who's taking it? Tom, Mitch, take us home in this quarterfinal.
Well, it looks someone's going to be going out of the tournament here and now. It feels sad to say goodbye to them already, but we got to move on. We got to get this gameplay advancing. It's all about the advanced gameplay. That's all Ian wants to see. Well, let's see who has it up for offer. Zeta having to retake B. We saw a very clean entry from C9. Smokes down, blast pack in, and plant. Now the timer is starting to tick away, and it's only a matter of time before C9 try to take extra space. They're all trapped inside of the site, and eventually they want to punch back out, and that's exactly how they do it. Fighting up towards heaven, and now the flank maybe going to play a role. They smoked off the turret. They've made it past, and maybe in a position where Zeppa wouldn't expect them. Never mind. Galaxy Brain Zeppa's already got this one calculated. He didn't know about Yatsuka, though. Too many players on the other side.
Yeah, and this is the exact start that C9 want. Start getting into the minds of their opponents early. It's been now 14 in a row since we've really seen anything from that side, but ultimately,
One enemy remaining.
we want to see if there's a response. Now, at least in this position, you're not really going to expect too much. You got yourselves a few pistols to play with. The Sheriffs on Yatsuka and Hiroron could be something. But again, it is relatively heavy into the rifles. C9 wanting to make sure that there's no mistakes like we saw in that first matchup.
Well, there's certainly no mistake starting out this round with a nice, clean opening.
There.
2 on the board already. Pistols have been a big factor in Zeta, as we said, in that first day, in that first matchup, first map against C9 yesterday. But now, well, it looks like C9 have learned their lesson. And that's the thing, you know, we talked a lot about Zeta having played this map and having learned, but C9 have also had a bunch of maps now under their belt. They start to warm up. They start to learn the synergies and the gaps in their gameplay. Start to plug those up. Nice flash in. Clear space. I like the spam from Oxy as well, just guaranteeing no one's pushing the door. They know the tree is pretty much open. They, again, decide to just move as a unit. The only little risk is Curry opening that door. Like, he's got a Vandal. There was a pistol close. He's going tree solo. It wouldn't be great for them to recover that, but luckily, there will be no punish.
Also aware of the potential flank. I say that. Laz has actually managed to get past the angle that Vanity is holding. But the thing is, he's got a classic. It's like, even if he manages to swing this, the chances of him winning this duel are slim to none. Maybe just trying to hold someone in this exit. Oh, Curry's holding it as well. A single kill for Hiroron will at least do a small amount of damage. But again, this bonus round from C9 is going to come in with some hefty weight to it. And as said, Zeta's absence from the scoreboard now reaches 15 rounds. I want to see them get this next round and get it clean, because although it might not be necessarily weighing on their minds directly, the further this goes, the scarier this entire series gets. As said, there's no lower bracket in this tournament. That's not how it works. You lose this game, you are out.
You out. And the other thing is, you know, it's 15 rounds in a row for C9, right? They're just carrying on that momentum at this point. Another pistol under their belt. I remember seeing Vanity a long time ago play with little ears. It might have been meant to be cats. They could very well be bunny ears on top of him this time around. So he's looking energized. The B site up for grabs. But there's a lot of players defending it this time around. A different stance from Zeta with the rifles, and a good opening from Laz with 2 kills. Still, though, C9 will be happy to trade out in a round like this. Man disadvantage, sure, but damage is the name of the game. Jake on the rifle, Zeppa with a bulldog. Some opportunities still to take even footing duels. And it looks like we're going to have a little sneaky play through from Jake while the spike moves to the other side of the map. A fake from the Vandal. Wouldn't really be expected on the side of Zeta. If they spot him and they spot the Vandal.
They saw the pixel of his Vandal. As
They
he
did?
Went, yeah, 100%. Like Uran, I don't believe he put that snake bite down just on coincidence.
Yeah.
He saw just enough information that there was a player there.
Rotate.
So he's even rotated in support. Heroron is, well, I say ready. He's gone down immediately.
Oh, no.
Response will be there, and Jake's not going to get anything else. And that's actually pulled the spike back.
Yeah.
He did so well that now, with 30 seconds left, C9 have got to try and reposition once again. Vanity is on a lurk in towards this B side, but there's not one, but actually a second player in as well towards the broken door. So with information there, this ends as a pretty nasty crossfire. Great flash, but it's only going to catch one.
Yeah, if Sugar Zero was blind, that really could have went their way, but very quickly able to recover on that. Something we saw from him over on Ascent.
Combo breaker.
Okay. Gonna be your new thing? That's your stim beacon.
Yeah, there you go. 15 rounds in a row, not anymore.
Not anymore.
1 round in a row.
Wait, 15's all they get!
Yeah.
Well, it would be impressive if Zeta could answer back with a similar
Yeah,
performance.
13 rounds in a row. Let's go.
Let's go. Here and now, 32.
Not biased.
I would cheer for that. Sorry, Vanity. Please don't hate me.
Please respond to my DM. Oh, wow. The pace from Oxy, and he's gone.
Just like that.
Oh, and so Zephyr as well. This is a bit of a slaughter. Jake at least stems the bleeding. Sort of. The spike is still down, but he's actually going to use the From the Shadows. He's managed to garner over the last couple of rounds to get it. They weren't actually fighting anymore, but better safe than sorry.
Toxin screen down.
A good early start in this round from Zeta. Laz actually left onto just a pistol, so they still have some vulnerabilities, and they are leaving this A site somewhat open. Even just maybe, I think they expect that C9 are a lot further forward than they actually are.
Yeah, they definitely do. A super, super passive play, and even the player on B watching over towards the spawn for the push-in on A stairs. Now, the turret has been has spotted a player, rather, and been destroyed. They have to shift focus, but they're still leaving B. And it's very common to leave B quite open like that. It's a tough site to actually defend from the site. Typically, you want to pick them off on the way through, or when they overextend afterwards, very close to losing another. But Heroron fails to grab that frag, and Curry will stay alive late into the round. It's Jake with the Vandal taking over control. 3 kills already. There's a 4th. Ace around the corner, but Sugar Zero denies it, takes another, and it's only Curry, the man who very nearly got dropped a second ago. He's given away his position. A smoke goes down. Sugar Zero, 50 HP. He needs the headshot. It has to be over to beside the smoke. 4 kills for Sugar Zero, and the round goes to Zeta.
I don't know how that slipped away. I genuinely don't know how it slipped away. It was so impressive from Jake in this round. Just took over everything. 3 kills, spinning back round, and Sugar Zero gets 1, and then the second just fade away smoke leaves it down to just Curry. And he actually gets connected on by the first bullet. A single bullet more, and he's dead to rights. A round that, again, Zeta should not have been winning. But they take it. Even still, though, the economy of C9 will last for another round. Single ultimate online for them as well, in the form of the Seekers. But a couple more not too far away. And bear in mind that A lot of the orbs on this map, in fact all of them, favor that attack side. They've already managed to collect a couple.
Some healthy growth from the defensive side as we see them start to flourish, finding 2 rounds, tying it up.
I've got your
This is where they push it across the line, take the lead, and put C9 on the back foot economically if they can. Still, it's a similar position for both teams, though. An eco to follow. It's Laz to fall first, forced into a fight by the nade. And their rotation is even coming through, having found that kill. Connector was open, A site's taken. From the shadows, the clear back site, kills across the board. Sugar Zero again trying to hold strong, but he's going to need to ace this round. He had a 4K in the previous, now it's time to one-up himself if he's going to get it across the line.
Can he get through the gap in the door? He has. It's Vanity opening it for him, but it's not going to be happening. C9, after their economy was put to the brink, break back once again, take their lead, and the problem now is Zeta. Bear in mind, they survived with 1 player in the last round, so their finances are completely in the bin. They've got to play this one as a light. Now, the one thing they have is that if they do manage to get a couple of kills, Nightfall's close, Lockdown's close, Showstopper's close.
Yep.
So there's potential still in this round, but then the same is on the other
Exactly,
side. The exact same ultimates are very close to being online. And they still have the buy with the rifles in it.
Yes, so that's the big difference here. I mean, for Zeta, it's much more likely to have that big impact. And that's why they're calling a tactical timeout here and now, discussing how they want to approach this round, even down to the basics of if you get a showstopper online, do we commit it? When do we commit it? Where do we want to go? Where's the best chance for these pistols to thrive? Or do you even want to use it as an info-finding mission? This C9 side has, I mean, they've shown a little bit of depth so far, but definitely favored towards the B site. But as soon as they grab a pick, they're happy to shift their attention. Just look at what they did. Picking off Laz, immediately the trigger is pulled. It's no longer a B take. It's rerouting, moving through to A, grabbing the plant there, using their From the Shadows to clear out the site. The potential for them to steam into the lead here and replicate the streak of rounds from the previous map is going to be in the back of Zeta's mind. Better to get this tactical timeout in early. Make sure they avoid letting it slip.
It's still one that's quite difficult to come back from the pause. As I said, I feel like the Zeta pauses have been very impactful. Tommy, take notes. Get ready for the next game. They've got to learn, you know, that's what it is. Something like that. But in this sort of round, well, you'd have to say that the coach is performing miracles, almost like a Pronax pause, which some people will get. Many won't. I'm old.
I actually don't get that.
Is the Fnatic pause in another FPS game. Yeah. Pronax would take a pause, say absolutely nothing, but because Fnatic took a pause, they'd still win the round. it was straight BS. He even said it. He was like, sometimes don't even say anything. I just know we're going to win because the other team put so much pressure on themselves.
You've told me about that before, actually, yeah. It slipped my mind.
It was a very sort of like consistent thing that the second they took a pause, they would win, no matter what. Now, Zeta will be hoping they can recreate that here.
They've given it away. Wall went up, wall went straight back down. After the Orb came into play, Zeta know that this is going to be a play towards the C site. They've made the adaptations, opening the door, taking the fights. Damage is being done. 15 HP left on Jake. Great opportunity for Pistols with Vanity now low as well. This could slip away very quickly for the side of C9, and Pistols have long been the problem, but now those Pistols have recovered rifles, and they're here to fight strong. Lockdown in play for Laz, forcing them further back. And it's a very tough decision. Do you fight forward and try to break it? No, well, they do. But Laz is quick to the trigger, taking down Oxy, and look who's waiting on the other side. It's Hero Ron. Once again, for C9, the Thrifty comes through on the other side, and the scoreline will be equalized. That pause has done them well.
Yeah, I am starting to question how they are getting that much success. It might just be some of the sort of niche ideas that they're pulling out, which is pretty cool. Obviously, Junior is the one that is currently sat behind them. They've got a lot of coaches.
They do.
They have got 6 staff that are listed in the back lines. Obviously, one of them is Carlisle.
I thought it was 4.
They have got a head coach, a coach, an assistant coach, and 3 analysts.
3 analysts.
Carlisle, Crow, Junior, Nokaze, 37, Sieg, and Gaia 9. They've got a lot of people in the backlines, but behind them, for anybody wondering, of the 6, is Junior. They also then have 7
I was going to
players.
say,
so
on the main roster as well, you've got a
they can play against
talent
themselves and have 3 subs.
They get the analysts in to play. Oh my God. Got a full 10v10 with some coaches.
Yeah, but I guess
Great.
Junior is the pause god. That's all I'm going to say.
He's done well.
Making a name for himself.
Well, now, as well, Tom, those ultimates you mentioned before are online. Showstopper's going to be used. Oxy popping his, but so too! It's Yetsuka grabbing the kill, following up onto Vanity, but the numbers remain even for now. Zeppa quick to fight back. Another kill from Uran, though, equalizes yet again. That was the low HP player of Jake falling. Rifles recovered from C9. It was Curry that played with a judge. Now with the Vandal in hand, they've got a serious opportunity. They're going in to try and break the lockdown. They've done that, but they can't deal with Zeppa. C9 right back on the horse. The lead won't evade their grasp for very long. It's right back in their hands.
I was actually surprised they even swing off that. Maybe just looking for a bit of a surprise factor themselves. Like to...
Yeah.
Because you could just break that lockdown from the spot they're in. As Laz showed a few seconds ago, he's like, I can just shoot this. But I guess they thought that maybe someone would swing or peek a different angle. This was definitely an interesting fight. That might be the highest I've seen someone go in a long time from a showstopper. But for C9, well, the ults are well invested. And again, the purchase isn't bad from Zeta. Even though they're going to save a little bit of extra cash for the next round, they still have themselves a few rifles to play with. And they're going to go very aggressively pushing up. Again, the orbs started to be collected. Viper's Pit on either side. Although I will say a Viper's Pit for the attack when Nightfall's in play, bit risky. Kind of gives the game away and leaves you low in your own pit, but we'll see if they've got any plans. For now, it is just orb management, something I think that a lot of teams are very conscious about when it comes to this attack side, and I don't even know how Laz has just killed him there.
That was through a smoke. Just
It's through a smoke and through a wall.
Yeah.
He's cheating.
Checking PC. Yetsuka low.
Oh, that missed.
Oh my
That
God.
hasn't.
That couldn't have been more perfect. You couldn't have planned it if you're Zeta. And they're out of there for free. 5 versus
They definitely
3.
didn't plan it.
No.
Like, I'm going to miss my paranoia, and then you're going to
He's
shoot
going
him
to
in
look
the
at me
face.
and then you swing it. If they did plan it, then get them a god.
Brilliant.
Just give them the trophy. At this point, Hero Ron down. Big kill for Curry. They've got the space to plant the spike now.
Oh, they're going to try and push up it as well. They've cleared out Laz, the man that caused them issues, well, throughout the series so far. And just look at the weaponry. Okay, there's one to be retrieved by Uran. Maybe a little bit nervous that someone's around the corner, so takes his time, but the turret gives the game away. And they're clearing angles over on the C9 side, taking that position towards the door. There's a couple of players here, and they're not going to get either of them, but Yetsuka, surely he won't check. He won't expect that second player to be there. Uran's actually put in his own Viper's Pit already. He doesn't have himself the shields low on HP. This is going horrifically. And getting back in there is just going to be impossible. To try and survive any sort of bullet spam is going to be difficult. And Curry has to do it with the classic, but there was never any real danger with how much he did with the nano swarms alone.
Yeah, that was it. The nanos were absolutely huge. And that's a Viper's Pit used up for an attempted 1v2. It's not worked, and it's given C9 that little bit of extra room to breathe further on Vanity. Appears to have an operator. Be curious to see if that's maintained as the timer ticks down.
The attack side Viper operator.
You know, he was critical of Boaster's Odin on attack, but the Viper op, I don't know. I'd love to get like Eccles' opinion on this. Like, why isn't Jake got it? It's paranoia. Good space taken. Yetsuka. Oh, it's unfortunate, but there's also a crunch coming up on mid. They push B. Laz already got 2, but down to 24. It's an op on the other side. Vanity's being consistent with it on the sky. And even now, looking to hold strong. Ah, look, there's no way through now. Those snake bites are denying them. Zeta have already fallen back, moving towards B.
It stops being worth it, this push, when you know that everybody is now peeking in on the angle. Before, there was at least the disruption of the aggressive push through C main, but that disruption is now gone. They can fall back. And both sides have traded this one fairly evenly. Maybe a slight bit more damage for the Zeta players. The problem, though, is that obviously that CLOUD9 can group up.
That was a nice fake. Wall up, wall down right away. It sort of tells them that maybe he's on the other side preparing his orbs, something like that. But then the turret spots them. There's lucky that Laz put that down. The information gets Zeta here very early. There's already some players rotated in. The spray here from Uran, not great, but he adjusts, knowing the swing was going to come from another angle. The problem is there's just too many players ready to fight. They abandoned the spike plan just to duel, knowing that that was their best chance to take it across the line. And now Hero Run has to clutch it out. The first not even going to be offered up. Jake very quick on the trigger. And 6 rounds now found for Cloud9. They are pushing up in this series. The advanced gameplay certainly being shown off by the attackers.
Yeah, stabilizing after a couple of shaky rounds. The pistols doing the work again for Zeta, and then a back and forth that ends with their economy in the dirt once more. C9 have looked very, very good in terms of their overall structure, their synergy. And with a 3-round lead already, bear in mind, it was the 5 rounds, I think a 5-2 position on their defensive side that Zeta managed. And they really struggled on their attack. And while Yatsuka, he's definitely got confidence, he's got spirit, but he's down very early in this round. Laz, though, still doing damage. And Sugar Zero, see, this is a spot that you expect to be cleared. I'd be very surprised if Sugar Zero is allowed to get away with this one.
The problem is, as they go to clear it, there's going to be 2 players holding, so they have to wait for their Viper Wall to be back online. Vanity will throw that up. They'll look to cross over, and that's where they can find some rewards. Snakebite landing perfectly on Sugar Zero. It's an easy kill for Vanity. Very well cleared. The trades will come through from Laz. Just the one for now. That might be all they need, honestly. And Curry, well, okay, he was low. That was a big advantage, but the heal comes through from Zeppa, bringing him back up to healthy fighting stature.
It genuinely seems like just if they can avoid Laz right now, it's working out for them.
Yep.
He's got 2 kills already with the Sheriff in this one. He gambled 2 players towards the A side of the map. Lockdown actually being considered for this one, but instead, well, it's been used even as they go back towards B.
left.
So again, another ult that just has completely gone amiss for the Zeta Division side.
Well, the Nightfall will be in full effect. An easy kill with Zeppa down. The 3rd kill for Laz in this round.
No.
The 4th, in fact. And now a serious opportunity. Vanity inside the Viper's pit. A rifle recovered. Laz looking for an ace with 2 teammates to close it out. Even if he falls, Vanity being sprayed on, and it's Hero Run to hit the shot. Not quite an ace, but a round win is all they need. 4 on the board now for Zeta. They will not go quietly.
Again, it's genuinely just hard to believe how he manages to do it. 4 kills. Okay, the Nightfall helped him know where they are, but I'm pretty sure he still insta-headshot both players, so it's not like they make much of a difference. He would have killed them both anyway. Basically, 5 Sheriff headshots won them the round. It's absurd, the individual skill that this Zeta team has. It's just they need to build off it. We've had a couple of these now, and they're still down in rounds. If they can get the response, get up to 6 rounds, they're going to be happy with this half, even though, again, it looks like C9 are the ones leading this game.
Big play coming in from Zeta. Looks like an aggressive stance, but they're a little bit late on it. Sugar Zero popping over, but Jake's already there, able to take a free kill, and now force a lot of this control out of Zeta's hands. They've isolated Hero Run. You can see him in tree all alone. As Oxy puts down his bot, he got taken.
Okay.
Another for Hero Run. He's still being pressured, but it's 1 by 1. Now they group up. No, they don't! Still 1 by 1! Eventually, Zeppa's able to take him down, but it's too little too late. He's all alone, and an attempted clutch, a second bound. Seeker's out, swing, but there you go. 2 players on the other side. They only needed 1. Uran quick to find the headshot. C9 maintained the lead for quite a while, but we could be closing this half out neck and neck.
Yeah, what a play from Hero Run. You're definitely right. That was giving him those individual jewels, but
I couldn't believe it.
He still has to land shot after shot after shot. And in fact, he only actually goes down because of the player towards tree. If not, I believe he probably would have just taken everybody with him.
That's the thing, like, Oxy's okay. He's putting a boombot down, he gets swung. Shit happens, man. Like, that's okay. What can you do? Why? Why does it continue in that fashion? Just over-eager, overconfident, and, well, they got punished for it.
Well, they've got back to their 5 rounds as they did versus Fnatic, although a very different story. They weren't in the lead as they were then and let it slip. Pressure looking to be put on. Curry's going to be left on a pistol, but I'll be honest, he's no slouch. He's been very good with that gun throughout the couple of days we've had so far. Again, they still wait outside. They're going to use the lockdown, but this is a ruse. Not a single player going in that direction. Rotations heavy initially, but now some doubt is started to be put into the minds of those players. They've not seen anything over towards A. Heroron, though, for a second, he had the right idea. Now, though, they're on full sprint back because CLOUD9 have actually taken a while to really get into position. He goes through the snake bite.
Oh, that was not a good idea.
What?
Oh, okay, bypassing the showstopper, but in fact, Yatsuka can't land his
30
shot
seconds
either.
left.
It's a messy round on the side of Zeta, one where they've been punished again and again. And a flawless conclusion to this half for C9. But, well, the scoreline is not that bad for Zeta. They've certainly managed
Same
to
as
hold
last
on.
time.
They've been able to fight back. You just have to hope that this attacking side is going to get off to a good start. We want to see them pick up the pistol here.
Yeah. And again, it's putting pressure on a youngster, but I'm looking at Yatsuka here. Like, what can he do on this attack side on that raise? Because, again, it's been a quieter defense. I don't mind so much. Like, it happens. But ultimately, a lot of the sort of success they had around from Heroron, but Laz was just on fire. The clutch as well from Sugar Zero. Like, it has more been blips than anything. C9 have, again, looked like the better team in the majority of rounds. But this pistol could be everything. If this is taken over the line by Zeta, they again get that boost to their start. It really is game on, but if C9 take it, then they might just get too far out of reach. And as we know, the loser of this map is out. Done. We won't see Zeta anymore on this stage or CLOUD9. One of them has a short trip home, the other slightly longer.
Oh my God, they've got their own chant leader down there. You can see him on your screen getting the crowd hyped up. Wish I knew what they were saying, but it sounds good. That's all I need to know. Pony Zeta could hear them, those inspiring words as they cheer on. Hey, there's Stevie as well. Look at him, he's just too well dressed, man. It's not fair.
They didn't like that.
We're talking about the Japanese casters and they're suave, but look at, we just need to get Stevie on the cam. Get him on the mic. Who's let Ian in here instead?
Yeah, you know. I don't know. I feel like you'd have to be a little bit careful. Like, Stevie might say a few things.
He could. He'd be wild.
He gets wise words and sometimes says some crazy things. But
I also
we
don't know.
love it.
I wouldn't want to put a headset on that hair. I don't want to mess it up.
It's true.
He refuses headsets, I've heard. He had a custom-made headset. Our producer's telling us
Kind of respect.
he had a
it.
custom-made headset, and that does not surprise me in the least. I can only imagine attempting to put a headset on that man's head.
Somewhere in the world,
Violence will
Lothar is happy because he heard the word custom.
Custom, yeah. Every player should have. I do agree with him, to be fair. Every
Yeah.
player should have custom in-ears. They're
There
not
we
that
go.
expensive for a team to invest in, and certainly worthwhile when it comes to international live events
No one
on
cares.
stage.
No one cares. Run around.
Okay. All right, wide open A side. We got a second.
Here we go. As said, this is important for Zeta. They could get out of reach if C9 managed to take this one over the line. Yatsuka is going to find that opener and a long wraparound coming back in. Taking its time. It's ship walking initially, but they're actually going to get 2 kills from it. Nobody watching that backline as the defense has taken themselves an advantage here.
They put all their faith in the turret, but it had been smoked off. Laz's utility gets them absolutely nothing, and unless Laz has a huge play up his sleeve, there will be no denying that defuse. Very nicely done, and this all comes down to the smoke that we saw put through from Jake. He smokes off the turret in spawn, walks up behind, and they're able to pull off a Splinter Cell synchronized kill. Looked like Ghost Recon out here. Beautiful play.
It's an oversight, though, as well, because we've seen this in the previous half, where it was constantly watched by the side of CLOUD9. Like, they always had somebody around that angle. In fact, in most cases, they had multiple players. So the fact that you were in an afterplant like that, and still nobody had any eyes on the flank, is a little bit worrying for Zeta. As said, like, that was an important pistol for them, already being down and really relying on individual plays in low buy rounds. Well, they need another.
Oh, they absolutely do. I don't expect C9 to throw too many crazy plays out there. This is going to be tight gameplay to close out the map. Tournament life on the line. Spot in the semifinals up against Foot Esports. If they're to have a chance there, I want to see them close this out.
That's the thing, it's the tough day. Playing that first match, you got a best of 3 to prepare for Foot, who look unbelievable.
And they're watching. You best believe they're watching. The fewer rounds you can show them, the better.
Hey, C9 managed to do that in map number 2, but other than that, quite a lot shown. Now Zeta are going to get a plant. Extra credits. Again, nobody watching the flank, but luckily for them this time, nobody's coming from the flank. They're going right in front. And Oxy looks to farm up as many orbs as possible. He technically does get another one. But a plant and a minute amount of damage is all Zeta can achieve here. Now, we wait to see if they have a response.
You know what the best part about these signs is, man? I never even thought about it, but the fact that you custom make these signs, they're incredible, and then you're probably going to get the players to sign them as well. And that's like a piece of memorabilia that's going to last you forever. We should have brought some.
I imagine it will last them forever. I imagine if I did something like that, I would lose it.
No
or it would go in my suitcase and ended up folded in half.
I'm inspired though. I'm gonna be copying that Zeppa sign there and making one
I've
for
seen
Enzo.
your signs before, but normally it has 2 different players who are playing against each other.
I'm
and you just
not
made
sure
it
about
cardboard.
that. Doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound accurate. I put a lot of effort into my signs, Tom. I take offense to that. Took hours to make.
Let's agree to disagree.
You know, well, screw all my hard work, I suppose.
You put as much effort as I do into my outfits.
It's probably about right. Well, for Zeta, they've got a lot of players to fight off against here. Nice, very nice paranoia to begin. Yatsuka onto Oxy. Sugar Zero following up. Jake's gone up top. A brave play and one that doesn't see a reward this time around. The one-to-one trade still leaves them light on the site. Curry has to do big work. He'll do well to find a first, but Sugar Zero dropping down from the top rope. He'll take the kill. This is a very nice round, fighting back for Zeta. They don't want to lose any more players, and luckily, the man who has to retake only has a bookie. Not only has a bookie, pardon me, also has a sheriff. Now that I see a sheriff in Vanity's hand, I do get a little bit more worried for the Zeta economy.
Why do I reckon that he'll get the kill with the bucky?
Yeah,
I think he'll kill Sugar Zero with a bucky. That's my call for this round.
Okay, we're rolling the dice. Let us know in chat, do you agree? Bucky kill, yay or nay? Is he going to play it with the sheriff? I think so.
No. If he went with the bucky, he would have gone there.
Absolutely, Tom. I couldn't agree more. He should have taken the bookie, wide, swung it out in the open, planned for the right click.
Exactly.
But he didn't. What a noob.
Yeah. It's like he's never even used a shotgun before.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I think that was his first time buying it.
That was a good
Don't watch
start.
the previous
This
round.
is more of what I wanted to see from Yatsuka. As I said, like coming in as that raise, he is the only duelist they have on that side. And a lot of it, you're going to be relying on him and Hero Run to sort of take space for the team. It's going to be a lot more difficult with that double controller setup to really get into position. So the fact that he's starting off strong with an opening kill like that is a good sign. Vanity, well, wow, brought the Odin into this round to do a little bit of spam damage and has almost died immediately.
The lucky thing is, once he goes behind that wall, they can't really fire back too easily. So good opportunity for him. They've tapped the spike, the orb, excuse me. They know exactly who they're up against and exactly what this guy likes to do. Zep is on the way to pop a heal for him. And even just to rotate in general, they're hearing a lot of noise around this area. The dog will go through. The tiger roaring his way down. Through the wall, he spotted a bunch of players. Time to heal up Vanity and get ready for the fight that is to come, and it most certainly is to come. They're going to clear out nobody inside tree. Once Vanity's healed up, I reckon he's going back in there with the Odin in hand, now that he knows it's open. But the door has just been opened, the timing kind of poor. Because he's 100 HP, he's confident to hold the angle. Now he's reclaimed his safe haven.
45 seconds left. Zeta have been somewhat waiting, maybe to see if Laz can find something on that lurk. Vanity is going to get forced back, but now it seems to be that split towards the B site. Curry not one to take this fight. The nade actually is going to force him off the angle. Vanity, in the meantime, has managed to find one. Zuka actually pushing forward. He wants to try and even things up, but Curry was more than aware. Vanity another with a wall bang. This leaves just 2 standing. Laz and Uran. It's not the prettiest of kills, but he gets the job down. However, that is all. C9 take that one convincingly to get themselves up to the 10th round. And again, just look at the finances for Zeta. They are on the ropes.
Yeah, really wise play by Vanity, I think, that whole round. He did well not to overcommit to any of the angles on A. This team of Zeta was looking for an opening there. Eventually, they decide to go back to B. He's got the rotation with his teammates. They double set up. The fact that Curry's able to hold strong despite being low HP, despite the nade landing at his feet as well, I think you have to commend him for that. He repositioned perfectly to allow Vanity to rotate in and give him that support. And then even here, as a wise man once said, wallbang! And it wasn't the kill, but it was the damage that allowed it to be so easy afterwards. 10-6. And C9 in prime position to close this one out, to send Zeta, our final Japanese representative, home. Won't be a long trip home, at least. The jet lag won't get them.
No,
might even come along tomorrow to spectate. It is their home ground, quite literally. And the crazy thing about it, Tom, would be, as we go into Zeta's tactical pause, that if they go out, the first 3 teams out of this event will all be the Japanese ones.
You are technically correct. I don't like the framing of it, but
I don't really care if you like it or not, Tom. It's a fact.
it's true, but I don't have to like
I know
facts.
Ian would like it. He was telling me a lot of facts earlier. The fact machine.
Interesting facts, I would say.
Of course. it's Ian.
Some might even question the validity of those facts.
I would, to be honest. Having come from his mouth, I question everything that was said.
This is a good idea. It's a good idea. You don't believe the Ian conspiracies, you know? You hear about the legend of Beaks, and then you really have to start
legend of
questioning reality. And what Cloud9 are probably questioning right now, what is Zeta about to do? It's another tactical pause. It's a junior tactical pause. One, as said, that had mass success. He looks calm, collected. No sweat on his brow.
No smiles either, though, Tom. The vibes on Zeta need to be brought back up, perhaps from what we saw before, but maybe they're just concentrated, zoned in, locked in. The final count was given to the coaches a matter of seconds before barriers go up. Zeta, they're not putting it all on the line here. Listen, they've got some credits spare, a couple of weapons will be invested into, but for the most part, yeah, C9 come in with a huge advantage. This time it's Oxy to go up top, but the challenge will not be towards A, rubble, or anywhere around this area. Instead, a lot of presence being focused on towards the C site. We just had the showstopper picked up by Yatsuka.
We got a showstopper fight. We've seen a couple of those already throughout this game.
Other sides of the map, thankfully, for now.
For now, we'll see. Vanity also now switching up to that C site, playing the rotational Odin.
Normally you will play retake as well in this sort of setup, but he's got some killjoy utility as well, so it's a really powerful combination between the damage he can output, between the vulnerability that can be applied. There's a snake bite over. Oxy knows that it's coming, and that's why he pops his showstopper. But finding them will be a big challenge, especially on range. Rocket doesn't usually land. That's a good prediction. It's close. A little deeper, and Uran might have lost his life. There's the showstopper on the other side, and actually the same result. A little bit more damage with Vanity forced to flee. The C site is now Zeta's.
He'll get healed back up again. It's exactly the same as the prior round. He's going to last that little bit longer. Ult's not really online. Laz is not far away. And in fact, they're actually putting it on Uran. The aggression just doesn't pay off. Sugar Zero at least getting one, but they are being slaughtered as they try and push forward. Curry with a triple. No hero this time for the side of Zeta to drag them through another pistol round. It seems like that Zeta magic might have just run out. 11-6 now. Cloud9 looking to book their spot in the semi-final setup. An EMEA versus NA battle, something that, well, has been enjoyed for many a time. Split the fans, of course.
Naturally. I mean, I think I know who I'm favoring after what Foot were able to do to 100 Thieves.
It wouldn't have mattered what Foot had done, you would be favoring them. Like, let's be honest. You have
accusations,
been,
Tom.
You
baseless,
have been bought and bribed.
Baseless accusations from you. I am insulted. My integrity has been called into question, and I don't take that lightly, Tom. You'll be hearing from my representatives.
That's
my agent will be in touch.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is also my agent. So good.
That is true.
That.
He may. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know whose side he's going to take, Tom, but I am keen to find out. And I actually don't think it will be mine.
No, really, though.
But you know what? That's a story for another day.
Oh, here we go. 11-6. This has to be the response from Zeta, and it hasn't looked like there's been one coming for a while. The push up like C9 as they get more confident, the double swing, the timing of it sublime, and Uran, there is nothing he can really do. He just has to fall off. And this is going to force them in towards that C site. Aggression as well, coming up behind them on B. There is so much information for the side of C9. They're going to fall off the back of this, and you can see Vanity. He's playing in the corner they know he's going to be in, but he's going to sit here with the Odin, and Laz will take him out. Yoran's position, though, who's going to check this? Honestly, who checks this? Not Curry, that's for sure. Oxy, though, still keeps things going. A nice response with the second shot, and now we're even again.
The nade. Yatsuka just tanked the nade. He swung out into it trying to punish Oxy. Now he's low as well as they go to plant this. Both stuck in the corner. Drop down from Laz. He's very low and he's hightailing it out, but it's being watched by Jake. 4 kills for Oxy already and no safe space for Laz. He has to fight right into the ace for Oxy. Top rated for a reason, leading by ACS, and leading the charge is C9. Push up to map point and series point. 6 chances to close this out and knock out our final Japanese representative.
After the first map, there was definitely hope for Zeta, but as we've seen as of yesterday, C9 sometimes start a little bit slow. Jake's had a fantastic map. Oxy looking to take his crown at the top of the leaderboard. And that was a round that looked very good for Zeta. Started strong. Now they're going to try and fight tooth and nail for this A control. It's an instant trade. Yatsuka 1-for-1. Util being thrown in from either side. And a quick run back. There is nobody currently on this C site. But Curry's Util could slow them down a little bit. Orb not going to be taken. They have ults available if they want to try and use it. And there goes that Util. It gives so much time. Look at the full sprint coming out of their defensive side. There was no one on site, but they now have players left on the cross.
Oh man, look at the damage done. Yoran and Laz are so low. Even the Viper's Pit might not be able to save them, and it won't be. It won't be pulled into play because Curry's taking Yoran down. The low HP makes the wallbang so much easier. Showstopper used. Great shot from Oxy, and it's Hero Ron to do it all. 8 HP on Curry, and quite a lot on Oxy. But he's at least got the spike, a chance if he can manage to get this down in a post fight, if he can pick one of them off along the way. And where he decides to take it could decide it all. A turret sat on B, waiting to grab the information, and the second he peeks it, these players will be grouping up, looking to use the numbers to their advantage. They now know roughly where he is, but 25 seconds, Tom. He's deciding to rotate, moving back to the C site. The clock is going to cut it extremely close, and with Curry still close by, it's a matter of seconds before he hears the steps. There it is, the info. Now caught by Curry, 12 seconds, the swing is in, the shot landed! A chance for Hero Run, a slim opportunity. It's the top-rated player of the tournament so far on the other side. It's Oxy. He knows that he's not towards the spawn. Waterfall is the suspected position, but it'll all come down to timing. Oxy, patient on the way through. He's been here before. He's won these clutches, even against greater odds. But Hero Run, he wants to stop him in his tracks, buy a chance for Zeta to cling on to tournament life. He's got the timing, and he'll keep them alive.
Might just be the most important Red Bull clutch of the tournament so far. Hero Ron in a spot that looked unwinnable, managing to isolate the jewels, getting into the afterplant, and again, for an 18-year-old player on the stage in Tokyo, facing elimination, the first couple of days he's played with this team and officials, he's given them life. They are on their last legs.
The vibes are back up. Big smile on Hero Ron's face. It's what I like to see. It starts here. The Snakebite nade combo has been dangerous outside of A. We've seen it a couple of times come through from C9. Last round most notably, grabbing the trade and eliminating Yatsuka within a matter of seconds of the round starting. Although Yatsuka did get the opening kill, so it was trade back. For Zeta, they want to avoid that, but they've muscled the control out of C9's hands as they look to get aggressive around B. Now, as they fall back, Laz is sensing that that space has been left wide open. He's got a good flank on the way as Zeta focus their attention on the A site.
A little bit quicker. Bear in mind, Hero Run is the one with the spike. Seekers are going to spot him out, and that's Yoran gone already. Another fall to the hands of C9 as they quickly come back from a singular round of defeat. Laz needs this kill and he won't find it. Shuka Zero is surrounded. And CLOUD9 from a first map defeat come